Chapter 1429 Sisterhood 1 Alright. This child suffered quite a shock today. Arrange a place for her to stay first. We will inform the domain monarch about this once he is out of seclusion, Elder Su said considerately. Jiang Lu nodded and immediately ordered people to arrange rooms for Yi Qing Tang and Beidou Demon Lord. The other members of the Jiang family were shocked by the abrupt surprise, but they naturally welcomed her since she carried the Jiang family bloodline. Only Yi Yu and Yi Sun had extremely dark expressions. They would have not thought that Yi Qing Tang was a member of the Jiang family. Sister Yu, why did Yi Qing Tang become part of the Jiang family? Is there anything odd in this? Perhaps she is an impostor. Yi Sun had a struggling expression as her abhorrence for Yi Qing Tang was deep in the bones. Ever since she followed Yi Yu to the Jiang family, Yi Sun had gained benefits, and her identity was different from others. All the more did she have no respect for Yi Qing Tang. However, this sudden change affected Yi Sun greatly. Yi Yu inhaled deeply and tried to maintain her facial expression so as to not let anyone notice her oddity. How can one easily impose as a member of the Jiang family? Do you think that the domain monarch's Jiang clan is so easy to deceive? Yi Yu said with a hushed voice. The Jiang family's unique heavenly demon bloodline was not replicable. Otherwise, many others would use the opportunity to cling on to the powerful force of the Jiang family. Some people once used all sorts of methods to replicate the heavenly demon bloodline. However, the resonance between the bloodlines could not be imitated, and those impostors were caught by the sharp eyes of the Jiang family. None of those exposed impostors survived. Now that even Jiang Lu was certain that Yi Qing Tang was a member of the Jiang family, that heavenly demon bloodline must be real. But how can I bear to see Yi Qing Tang crawling into the Jiang family just like this? Yi Sun complained while repressing her emotions, do you think I like it too? Yi Yu glared at Yi Sun coldly. She would never understand why Yi Qing Tang had such good luck. Yi Sun opened her mouth but did not dare to anger the current Yi Yu. At that instant, Jiang Lu and Elder Su brought Yi Qing Tang to Yi Yu and Yi Sun. Yi Sun immediately lowered her head. In front of others, she was someone related to the Jiang family, but in front of the Jiang family, she was merely an outsider. She had already incurred the dissatisfaction of Elder Su after insulting Yi Qing Tang earlier on. You, there may have been some misunderstandings between you and Tang Tang. However, both of you are part of the Jiang family now. It is quite a coincidence. I heard that both of you were sisters in the same family clan in the First Mainland, is that right? Jiang Lu asked with a smile. As Yi Yu looked at Yi Qing Tang, who was behind Jiang Lu, she clenched her fists that were hidden in her sleeves but put on a flawless act of obedience. Yes. Tang Tang and I were indeed from the same family clan. I did not think that we would be so fated either. We did have some misunderstandings before, but since we are sisters of the same clan, of course I am delighted, Yi Yu said with a smile as she clenched her fists to restrain herself from ripping Yi Qing Tang apart. Yi Qing Tang laughed scornfully on the inside at the sight of Yi Yu's feigned gentleness. Delighted? Yi Yu's acting skills improved. She probably would have wanted to lunge at her and rip me apart, wouldn't she? Chapter 1430 Sisterhood 2, I know that you are sensible. Both of you will be in the Jiang family from now on and should prioritize the honor of the Jiang family. As for whatever that happened before, just treat it as though it never happened before. Jiang Lu was very satisfied with Yi Yu's reply. They were both the children of the Jiang family, and burying the hatchet was the best. Subsequently, Jiang Lu looked at Yi Qing Tang and said, Tang Tang, don't take whatever that happened in the past to heart as well. Yi Qing Tang scoffed in her heart but put on an obedient front that was even more accurate than Yi Yu's. There are no grudges between sisters. They were just trivial bickering and fights. Yi Yu gritted her teeth. All right. Both of you are sensible children. Jiang Lu was filled with joy. Very quickly, Yi Qingtang's residence was arranged, and Jiang Lu sent Yi Qingtang and Beidou Demon Lord to rest first. You, Tang Tang, and you were from the same clan previously. Have you heard about how Tang Tang was adopted? Jiang Lu looked at Yi Yu and asked. Yi Qingtang's identity was verified, but it was still uncertain who her parents were. If they could find out where her bloodline was from, they could also find out whether her parents were still alive. Yi Yu simply did not wish to talk about Yi Qingtang, but she had no choice but to reply gently now. I'm not very clear as well. I only heard that Tang Tang was adopted by the Yi family's family master, but I don't know the details. Jiang Lu nodded lightly without asking much. It was easy for them to investigate as long as they knew that Yi Qingtang was found in the first mainland. Jiang Lu and Elder Su were occupied with finding out about Yi Qingtang's parents. On the other hand, Yi Yu, who held her fury in for a long time, finally slammed the slab top in the courtyard after leaving everyone's line of sight. Yi Qingtang, you're seriously everywhere. Sister Yu, Yi Qingtang has entered the Jiang family now. She definitely did not forget about what happened in the past. That bitch will seek revenge and think of ways to oppose you for sure. If she is allowed in the Jiang family just like that, she will stir up many troubles. Yi Sun looked at Yi Yu slyly. So what if she's in the Jiang family? Yi Yu narrowed her eyes slightly. She would definitely get rid of Yi Qingtang. Subsequently, she turned to look at Yi Sun. Is Aunt Qin going to be back soon? Yi Sun was slightly dumbfounded. The Aunt Qi whom Yi Yu referred to was Jiang Qin, the daughter of the domain monarch and the twin of Yi Yu's mother. The twins shared a strong relationship, and Jiang Qin was extremely broken-hearted over the death of Yi Yu's mother. The search for Yi Yu in the first mainland was personally planned by Jiang Qin, and after Yi Yu returned to the Jiang family, Jiang Qin cared for Yi Yu like she was her own flesh and did not allow anyone to mistreat Yi Yu. Aunt Qin should be back today. Yi Sun roughly guessed Yi Yu's plans. A sneer formed on Yi Yu's face as she left. In the evening, Jiang Qin and her husband returned. Jiang Qin was already very old, but she took great care of her appearance and looked 26 years old at most. Aloof and arrogant, she was extremely gifted and doted on by the domain monarch while her husband was a renowned powerful figure in the central mainland. Is the ancient Yu clan courting death? They almost spoiled my plans this time. Jiang Qin frowned immediately when she returned to the Jiang residence. Chapter 1431 Sisterhood 3 The tall man behind Jiang Qin was her husband, Tuo Bayao. His thick brows were furrowed slightly, and his aura was frighteningly strong. Forget it. It's alright as long as the matter is settled. Take care of your body. Don't be angry. Tuo Bayao comforted. Jiang Qin took a look at her husband without saying anything before she glanced across the hall. Where's Yu? Why didn't she come to welcome me home today? Jiang Qin seemed to be blaming Yi Yu, but there was no hint of dissatisfaction in her tone. Yi Sun, who had been waiting in the hall as ordered by Yi Yu, heard Jiang Qin's question and replied immediately. Sister Yu is a little unwell today, so she is still resting. She told me to wait here and immediately inform her once you are back. Instead, I am overjoyed by your return and almost forgot about it. Jiang Qin frowned immediately again, and a look of worry appeared on her face. Yu is unwell. Is it because she ate spoiled food? Hurry, bring me to her. Jiang Qin and Tuo Bayao had been married for more than years but did not have any children. Her twin sister's child finally returned, and thus, she naturally doted on Yi Yu like she would to her own child. A smile flashed by Yi Yu's eyes, but she concealed it. She immediately led Jiang Qin and Tuo Bayao to Yi Yu's residence at this instant. Yi Yu had a pale complexion and was laying on the couch. Jiang Qin's sudden entrance into her room saw an immediate look of surprise on Yi Yu's face. Aunt Qin. You're back so early. Then, she shot Yi Sun a look of blame. Sun, why are you so insensible? I told you to inform me once Aunt Qin returns. Why did you? Jiang Qin's heart ached at the sight of Yi Yu's pale face, and she immediately walked up to hold Yi Yu's icy hands. You, what happened? Where are you feeling unwell? Yi Yu opened her mouth, but there was only a bitter smile. Aunt Qin, I'm all right. I just had a cold from last night. Tuoba, request physician Long to come and take a look at you. Quick, Jiang Qin said immediately. Yi Yu hurriedly responded. Aunt Qin, I'm all right. There's no need to trouble physician Long. How can that be? Jiang Qin was very stubborn. Yi Sun saw that the timing was about right and mumbled with feigned carelessness. Sister Yu, how is this a cold? You were clearly bullied. Sun. Yi Yu berated. However, Jiang Qin caught the key in what Yi Sun said. Sun, what do you mean by this? Who dares to bully my Yu? Aunt Qin, there's no such thing. Don't listen to Sun. Yi Yu acted as though she was unwilling to complicate matters. Yet, Yi Sun said with righteous indignation, Sister Yu, you are kind, but I cannot bear it anymore. Then, Yi Sun told Jiang Qin. Aunt Qin, you're unaware that Elder Su brought a person back today. That person always made things difficult for Sister Yu and set her up when we were in the first mainland previously. Jiang Qin's expression darkened immediately. Who is that person? She made you so miserable. Just kill her. But Elder Su said that that person is a child of the Jiang family, and there's no way to touch her. You were not here today. That person is called Yi Qin Tang. After Elder Su brought her back today, she relied on the fact that she was a child of the Jiang family and acted haughtily around Sister Yu. Sister Yu tolerated her once and again and is thus sick from holding in her anger. Yi Sun embellished the story and made it as though Yi Yu suffered a great injustice. Chapter 1432 Parents 1 Aunt Qin, I'm all right. Since she is a child of the Jiang family, I can bear anything for the Jiang family. Yi Yu behaved as though she made a compromise for the general interest. It hurt Jiang Qin to see that Yi Yu looking like that. What Yi Qin Tang? So what if she is a child of the Jiang family? I want to see who dares to let you suffer injustice with me around. Jiang Qin's expression was extremely dark. Her sister only left behind a child, and that was Yi Yu. How could she let Yi Yu suffer even the tiniest bit? You, rest well. I am here, Jiang Qin said while patting Yi Yu's hand. Yi Yu frowned slightly. Aunt Qin, I don't wish to give you more trouble because of my personal matters. My mother died early, and I did not receive much motherly love. However, I am already very content with your care. Jiang Qin felt even more miserable at the mention of Yi Yu's mother. Don't worry about these anymore. Rest well. Yi Yu nodded obediently as she looked down to hide the snicker in her eyes. Yi Qin Tang, even if you enter the Jiang family, you are still unable to defeat me. Sooner or later, I will make you disappear from this world completely. The Jiang residence was extremely spacious and was even larger than the royal palace. Jiang Lu was rather attentive to Yi Qin Tang, the lost talent, and the room he prepared for her was so large that the huge Beta demon lord could roll around and jump about. However, Yi Qin Tang did not care much about that. The heavenly demon bloodline had been in her body for a long time, but she could not master it completely. Meanwhile, the Jiang family was the most familiar with the heavenly demon bloodline, and Yi Qin Tang could obtain more cultivation techniques suited for the heavenly demon bloodline. There was truly a heap load of benefits. Yi Qin Tang just reached her room, and Elder Su and Jiang Lu ordered people to deliver generous amounts of elixirs and money. Tang Tang, you can rest here first. Once the domain monarch is out of seclusion, he will personally take a look at the condition of your bloodline and then decide on the suitable cultivation techniques, Elder Su said with a smile. He thought that Yi Qin Tang, who had been wandering outside, must not have learned the orthodox heavenly demon cultivation techniques. If she merely possessed an ordinary heavenly demon bloodline, he could bring her to the martial pavilion to select some foundational cultivation techniques to practice like Yi Yu back then. However, Yi Qingtang had the rare heavenly demon devouring bloodline, and they could not make a decision for the moment. "Thank you, Elder Su." Elder Su smiled. "Just familiarize yourself with the Jiang family slowly. We will carefully investigate to find out your biological parents. If they are still alive, perhaps we can let your family unite." The first mainland was sealed away back then, and they could not enter. Only a few special people entered there by coincidence. It should not be a tough investigation. Yi Qingtang nodded, reckoning that the parents whom Elder Su find out eventually would probably the parents of that lady in green. However, that lady in green escaped after her bloodline was stolen, and it was unknown if she was devoured by little Yu Yun along with other living beings in the first mainland. Once Elder Su left, Yi Qingtang sat down to regulate her breathing. Everything that happened today was beyond her expectations. She took out the voice transmission stone instinctively, hesitated for a moment, and did not turn it on. Ling Yan most likely plotted all of this when he told her to head to Burnt City, so that she could enter the Jiang family using the heavenly demon bloodline. "I really owe you another one." Chapter 1433 Parents 2 After sunset, Yi Qingtang ate some things and regained her energy. She went to look for Beta Demon Lord but found that he was already snoring away on the ground. Once she walked to the courtyard and wanted to return to her room, a figure suddenly appeared before her. It was an aloof lady who exuded an overbearing demeanor. Her long eyes narrowed slightly and swept across Yi Qingtang sharply. Yi Yu slowly walked out from behind that lady. When Yi Qingtang saw Yi Yu, she immediately realized something. Is she Yi Qingtang?" Jiang Qin cast a look of disdain at Yi Qingtang and subsequently turned to look at Yi Yu affectionately. "Yes, Aunt Qin." Yi Yu nodded obediently, though there was a trace of a sneer hidden in the depth of her eyes. Jiang Qin had always been a tough and straightforward person, and she had an extremely high position in the Jiang family. So what if Yi Qingtang was a child of the Jiang family? If she upset Jiang Qin, she naturally would not receive good treatment. Jiang Qin nodded lightly and then looked at Yi Qingtang coldly. "You. Come here." Yi Qingtang looked at the unfriendly Yi Yu and Jiang Qin and stepped forward slowly. Jiang Qin looked at Yi Qingtang indifferently and said, "You are back in the Jiang family now. I don't care how ill-disciplined you are outside, but in the Jiang family, you must follow the Jiang family's rules. Yu is older than you and is your sister, but you were disrespectful to her and contradicted her. I want you to kneel down and kowtow to apologize to you." Jiang Qin had a haughty manner and did not have any respect for Yi Qingtang. Looking at the assertive Jiang Qin, a trace of a smile emerged in Yi Yu's eyes as she looked at Yi Qingtang provocatively while standing behind Jiang Qin. Yi Qingtang did not move an inch as though she did not hear Jiang Qin's orders. "I want you to kneel down. Don't you hear me? What an ill-disciplined, wild girl." Jiang Qin narrowed her eyes, and a powerful repressive force spread out from her. Under the force, Yi Qingtang had difficulty breathing. Jiang Qin's skills were actually above heavenly venerate fifth heaven. In no time, Yi Qingtang broke out in a cold sweat, but her legs remained standing stably without bending at all. "You want me to kneel to her? On what basis?" Yi Qingtang snickered while forcefully resisting the force. "I want you to kneel, so you must kneel." Jiang Qin sneered as her repressive force strengthened suddenly. Yi Qingtang turned pale immediately. At this very instant, she clearly realized that even though her skills increased rapidly, it was still insufficient in the central mainland, where highly skilled people were everywhere. She must become more powerful as quickly as possible. Yi Yu looked at the pale Yi Qingtang proudly with viciousness filled in her eyes. "Since you are unwilling to kneel, I will break your legs." Let me see if you are going to kneel or not. Jiang Qin snickered coldly as a light shot out from her palm and straight at Yi Qingtang's knees. However, at this moment, a red beam suddenly appeared and blocked Jiang Qin's attack. The next second the red beam appeared, Elder Su landed behind Yi Qingtang and supported her collapsing body. Jiang Qin, what are you doing? Jiang Lu, who came over together, looked at Jiang Qin with a flabbergasted expression. Chapter 1434 Parents 3, I want to teach this wild girl the rules of our Jiang family. Jiang Qin was not the least remorseful and still had an extremely haughty look. Even when she was talking to her own older brother, Jiang Lu, she did not curb her arrogance. What wild girl? Tang Tang is a child of our Jiang family, Jiang Lu said, displeased. Jiang Qin scoffed without paying any regard to Jiang Lu. I don't care whether she is part of the Jiang family or not. Anyone who bullies you must be punished. Third brother, my sister died early. If I don't help her to protect you, wouldn't you be bullied by others? I don't intend to make things difficult for this Yi Qingtang either. As long as she kneels down and kowtows as an apology to you, I will treat this incident as over. Jiang Lu frowned slightly and immediately looked at Yi Yu who was behind Jiang Qin. Didn't you say that everything that happened before was over? Yi Yu had an innocent expression and appeared as though she suffered an injustice. Jiang Qin immediately protected Yi Yu behind her and said, this has nothing to do with you. You are such a biased uncle. You don't know who the parents of this wild girl are, but you're already helping her to bully you? Since you are unwilling to interfere, I will. Who says that we don't know who Tang Tang's parents are? Elder Su said coldly after helping Yi Qingtang regulate her breathing. We have already found out who Tang Tang's parents are just now. Everyone at the scene was taken aback by what Elder Su said. Even Yi Qingtang was a little dumbfounded. Elder Su is too speedy, isn't he? He already found out who my parents are so quickly. Jiang Qin had a nonchalant expression, however. Which division are they from? Elder Su said in a deep voice, what division? She is the child of your second brother and sister-in-law. What? Jiang Qin was in a slight daze. Even Yi Qingtang was stunned as well. Jiang Qin's second brother? Isn't that the domain monarch's second son? Yi Qingtang had heard some rumors about the Jiang family in her previous life. In the Jiang family, the domain monarch was the most skilled, but the person whom the central mainland feared the most was the domain monarch's second son. Jiang Lang. Jiang Lang was very gifted and was thought highly of by the domain monarch since young. He was nurtured carefully and was originally intended to be brought up as a candidate for the next domain monarch. Yet, Jiang Lang was extremely malicious such that murder and doing evil were all considered child's play. He had killed many people, and even he himself might not be able to keep up with the number of murders he committed. Meanwhile, the wife whom he married was all the more notorious. Before she was even of age, she burned thousands of people in a blazing flame just so she could admire their contorted expressions. The couple left the Jiang family a long time ago and paid no regard to the domain monarch's dissatisfaction and reproach. Even if people of the Jiang family made them unhappy, they also killed them simply. Blood ties were simply a joke to Jiang Lang. In this world, there was nothing dared not to do and no one he dared not kill. Once, a person from a certain influential group merely looked at Jiang Lang a little longer, and Jiang Lang annihilated the entire group. In a night, he flooded the city with blood, and not a single person was spared. Even Yi Qingtang was frantic to hear the name Jiang Lang. But never would she have thought that Elder Su actually said that the malicious and vicious couple was actually her parents. Was Elder Su really not lying? Jiang Qin's expression was a little dark now. Did you check correctly? Of course. I have already sent people to inform your second brother and sister-in-law, and they may be back after some time, Elder Su said but did not dare to be too certain. After all, Jiang Lang and his wife had never bothered about blood ties, and it was uncertain whether they would care about their biological daughter. Jiang Qin squinted her eyes while Yi Yu's expression stiffened as well. She had returned to the Jiang family for some time already and naturally heard of the rumors regarding Jiang Lang and his wife. Just the countless misdoings that the pair committed were enough for one's blood to run cold. Yi Qingtang is Jiang Lang's daughter. How could this be? Yi Yu was very unwilling to believe that this was true, but since Elder Su said so, it was more or less real. Chapter 1435 Slander 1 Yi Yu's gaze landed on Yi Qingtang unconsciously. Yi Qingtang did not have any facial expressions, but she was rather shocked on the inside. According to the information that Ling Yan provided, that lady in green had not been in the Jiang family since young. The Jiang family only knew that the heavenly demon bloodline in her body would mutate into the heavenly demon devouring bloodline when she was of age. However, they were unsure of her location. Rather, it was Ling Yan who found out that the lady went to the second domain. Although the Jiang family had been looking into the lattice location, it was to no avail partly due to the fact that the lady went to the second domain. The heavenly demon devouring bloodline in Yi Qingtang belonged to that lady originally. Jiang Qin fixed her expression and said subsequently, "So what if she is the child of my second brother and sister-in-law? Since she made a mistake, she must be punished. She bullied you once and again. Should she be let off just because she is my second brother's child?" Elder Su and Jiang Lu knew that Yi Yu was extremely protective of Yi Yu, and with Jiang Qin's strong personality, this matter probably would not end so easily. Whatever conflicts that you and Tang Tang have might as well be settled this time. If there is nothing serious, then let bygones be bygones. Jiang Lu immediately mediated. Jiang Qin scoffed and looked at Yi Yu, signaling Yi Yu to recount her unjust treatment. But what could Yi Yu say at this point? There's nothing much actually. Those things happened in the past, and I've long forgotten about it. Shall we forget it, Aunt Qin? Tang Tang is a member of the Jiang family, and I don't wish to talk about the past incidents, Yi Yu said very obediently, but there was a hint of grievance as though she gave up on her own grudge for the bigger picture. Those who were unaware of the truth would think that Yi Yu suffered a huge injustice. Elder Su and Jiang Lu admired Yi Yu's generous response greatly. Of course, Yi Qingtang knew what Yi Yu's intentions were. Yi Yu played the nice guy already while she somehow shouldered baseless accusations. "Sister, you must really feel aggrieved," Yi Qingtang said suddenly. Compared to Yi Yu's compromise, Yi Qingtang's sarcastic statement caused Elder Su and the rest to frown slightly. "Yi Qingtang, you has backed down already, but you are still so insensible. If not for Yu's persuasion, I definitely would not let you off so easily." Jiang Qin scoffed coldly. "Tang Tang, you are at fault this time." Jiang Lu was a little dissatisfied at Yi Qingtang's unwillingness to forgive Yi Yu. Looking at the people who were deceived by Yi Yu, Yi Qingtang laughed and said, "I did not know that there's such a thing in this world. Yi Yu was clearly the one who dug my spirit root, but it seemed like I bullied her from what she said." Yi Qingtang's words surprised everyone. "What did you say? You snatched your spirit root?" Elder Su looked at Yi Qingtang in astonishment. Even Jiang Lu was a little dumbfounded. Yi Yu's face froze suddenly. She did not think that Yi Qingtang would suddenly mention this incident. Yet Jiang Qin had a face of disbelief. "Yi Qingtang, don't slander you just because she has a nice personality. How will you snatch your spirit root?" "Slander? My spirit root is in her body right now. There is a resonance between the spirit root and its original owner. If you don't believe me, you are free to check it," Yi Qingtang said coldly. Chapter 1436 Slander 2 When a spirit root left its original owner, a resonance could still be detected using a special method if they met. The reason why Yi Yu wanted to kill Yi Qingtang by all possible means was to completely erase this black history of hers. As long as Yi Qingtang died, no one would know what she once did. Although the spirit root was not as important in the central mainland, it was ultimately one of the foundations for cultivation. If Yi Qingtang was not part of the Jiang family would not have any opinions even if Yi Yu dug her spirit root away and may instead feel that she deserved to do it. However, things were different if Yi Qingtang was a member of the Jiang family. Hearing the certainty in Yi Qingtang's words, Jiang Qin could not help but frown slightly and look at Yi Yu. Frantic arose within Yi Yu. No one other than she herself was clearer of what would happen. It would all be revealed once they tested it. Ever since Yi Yu came to the Jiang family, she had been putting on a gentle and obedient front, but the current matter. Yi Yu went through all her options and knew that the outcome was the same no matter whether they tested it or not. Her eyes suddenly welled up with tears as she looked at Yi Qingtang with an aggrieved expression. Tang, I know you have never forgotten about the spirit root incident. I am very guilty as well. Yi Yu's statement verified Yi Qingtang's earlier accusation. Jiang Lu and Elder Su were astonished. Previously, they thought that Yi Qingtang and Yi Yu were this way because of some conflicts and did not expect that their grudge actually began from snatching a spirit root. What was even more unexpected was that the seemingly gentle and weak Yi Yu really snatched Yi Qingtang's spirit root. Yi Yu said subsequently, "Back then when grandfather dug your spirit root away and gave it to me, I did not even know that the spirit root was yours. If I knew it was yours, I definitely will not want it." Yi Yu knew that she was unable to hide from this matter and thus pushed all the blame to the Yi family's great elder. Elder Su and the rest were less agitated when they heard Yi Yu saying that it was the actions of the Yi family's great elder. Tang, if you hate me because of this matter, I will return this spirit root to you in hopes that we can get along well in the future. Yi Yu seemed to have made a firm decision as she suddenly unsheathed a dagger and stabbed at her abdomen, wanting to dig out the spirit root to return to Yi Qingtang. Alarmed by Yi Yu's actions, Jiang Qin hurriedly locked her wrist and took the dagger away. What are you doing, Yu? It's just a spirit root. What's the big deal? So be it if it's stolen. Why must you harm your body over this incident again? Jiang Qin was hurt to see Yi Yu like this, and she subsequently looked at Yi Qingtang with hatred. Yi Qingtang, you kept going against you just because of a spirit root? It's just a spirit root. What's the big deal? Don't use guilt towards you to act brashly. Yi Qingtang was tickled by Jiang Qin's bandit logic. When Yi Yu stole her spirit root, was opening her abdomen not considered harm? Yi Yu had not even harmed herself now, but Jiang Qin was already this indignant. Having someone's backing was indeed different. Yi Qingtang looked at Jiang Qin and said, I'm afraid you're wrong. She is the one who always targeted me and not the other way round. I was not the one who looked for her today, but Yi Yu led you to trouble me, right? Who exactly is the one who can't let go of this matter? Chapter 1437 Slander 3 I already said that I insisted on looking for you today. It has nothing to do with you, Jiang Qin said impatiently. Like hell she believed that. Yi Qingtang knew Yi Yu's schemes. Tang, I know that you are resentful. I always wanted to return this spirit root to you. Yi Yu leaned in Jiang Qin's arms with tearful eyes, which compelled tender affection. Yet, Yi Qingtang was not moved at all. Since you are so guilty, it's hard for me to decline. You can return the spirit root to me today then. Yi Yu was dumbfounded by what Yi Qingtang said. She really did not expect Yi Qingtang to be so straightforward and crude. Yi Qingtang, you're really evil. You actually want you to destroy her spirit root. Jiang Qin shouted furiously. Yi Qingtang smiled in response. What do you mean by that? Am I not doing this for her good? Yi Yu said she has been extremely remorseful over the spirit root incident and always wanted to find an opportunity to return the spirit root to me. I saw that she is so guilty, so I might as well go along with her wishes. She won't need to be guilty once she returns the spirit root, won't she? Since Yi Yu wanted to play innocent so much, let her act all she wants then. Yi Yu's expression changed subtly. She originally thought that Yi Qingtang would let this matter go because of the Jiang family's opinions, yet unexpectedly. Yi Qingtang really wanted her to return the spirit root. Yi Yu appeared guilty and sincerely wanted to return the spirit root, but in her heart, there was not the slightest intention to return it. She had long treated this spirit root as her own. Yi Qingtang looked at the mum Yi Yu and said, "Why? You actually don't wish to return it? Since you don't, just say it then." "It's not," Yi Yu shook her head tearfully. "Yi Qingtang, that's enough." Jiang Qin suddenly interrupted Yi Qingtang, cornering. "You is a child of the Jiang family and not someone who you can do whatever you want to." "Surely she is a child of the Jiang family?" Yi Qingtang scoffed. Yi Yu truly wanted to kill her, and Jiang Qin, who was so protective of Yi Yu, probably wanted to kill her as well under Yi Yu's bewitchment. Even if Yi Qingtang spoke nicely this time, Jiang Qin would not change her attitude toward her and would oppress her even more instead. Since they were already in a confrontation, Yi Qingtang might as well just have a complete fallout. Humph. Jiang Qin's eyes swept across Yi Qingtang without bothering to haggle with her. If Elder Su and Jiang Lu were not present, Jiang Qin would have taken Yi Qingtang's life immediately. Jiang Qin was unwilling for Yi Yu to be harmed any further and immediately led her away. Yi Yu's tear-stained face made her look extremely aggrieved. Yi Qingtang was about to vomit when she saw that expression. After Jiang Qin and Yi Yu left, Jiang Lu had a rather complicated expression. "Tang Tang, you indeed suffered grievance over this matter. However, since both of you are back in the Jiang family, let bygones be bygones then. Don't destroy the sisterhood between you two." Jiang Lu persuaded. Regardless of Yi Qingtang or Yi Yu, both were part of the Jiang family. Yi Yu indeed should receive some punishment for stealing the spirit root, but it seemed impossible with Jiang Qin's protection. "As long as she does not cause trouble for me, I will not look for her," Yi Qingtang replied. Although she had entered the Jiang family, she was very clear that Yi Yu had Jiang Qin behind her. While Elder Su and Jiang Lu seemed to be standing on her side, they were mostly acting in the interest of the harmony of the Jiang family and definitely would not deal with Yi Yu for her. Yi Qingtang still lacked someone's backing in the Jiang family. Chapter 1438 Intolerable Bullying. 1. Yi Yu was the daughter of Jiang Qin's twin sister, thus, Jiang Qin treated her as her own daughter. If Yi Qingtang wanted to find a backing, her notorious parents had to return to the Jiang family and attach importance to their daughter, which was her. Otherwise, she would still lose out to Yi Yu. Elder Su and Jiang Lu gave Yi Qingtang a few instructions and took their leave. Yi Qingtang returned to her room to rest as well. She was more pressed to cultivate after realizing her gap with Jiang Qin and began to cultivate immediately without resting. Only by consolidating her current cultivation realm quickly would she be able to safely enter the world of constellations in the illusory void once again. Yi Qingtang was still cultivating the next morning when she heard a deafening knocking sound on her door along with Beidou Demon Lord's voice. "Little sister, are you awake?" Yi Qingtang stopped her cultivation when she heard Beidou Demon Lord's voice. When she opened the door, she saw a beaming Beidou Demon Lord carrying a pile of fruit. "The Jiang family sent me quite a lot of food just now. I saw that these fruits are not bad. Let's eat them together." After sharing his frozen banana with her, Beidou Demon Lord was very willing to share any good items with his new sworn sister. Looking at Beidou Demon Lord's huge frame, Yi Qingtang's whole night of fatigue seemed to disappear completely in a moment. A human and an ape sat outside the courtyard and began digging in. The Jiang family had an extremely high status in the central mainland, and all of the fruits that they gave Beidou Demon Lord were rare, quality items. While Beidou Demon Lord had a tall and sturdy frame, he was a complete foodie. Otherwise, he would not travel all the way to the frozen areas just for a few bunches of frozen bananas. Beidou Demon Lord was delighted by this pile of precious fruits. It should be known that he had only heard a few things about the items here and never truly tasted them before. I have never seen this dragon peach before. If my clan members knew I could eat the dragon peach, they would all be shocked. Beidou Demon Lord had a face of excitement as he held a peach that was about the size of his palm. Of course, he would not forget to share such a good item with Yi Qingtang. He selected an extremely nice-looking dragon peach and placed it in front of Yi Qingtang. The corner of Yi Qingtang's lips twitched slightly as she looked at the dragon peach that was even larger than her body. This peach could last her for a year. The little white tiger lay beside Yi Qingtang lazily. As it watched Beidou Demon Lord eat heartily, it nonchalantly played with its beard while its paw quietly tossed a peach into its mouth. Just as the three of them were eating joyfully, a rather piercing voice suddenly traveled into their ears. Who is that damn person? How dare she wreak chaos in the Jiang family? The person who spoke was a tall and good-looking youth who was followed by a few other similar-aged people, including Yi Sun. So you are Yi Qingtang? After shooting a look of disgust at Beidou Demon Lord, the youth in the lead looked at Yi Qingtang condescendingly and sized her up without any respect. You are the uneducated and wild girl who bullied my younger sister you. Yi Qingtang cast a look at that youth without responding to him. I am talking to you. Are you deaf? I want you to apologize to you right now, that youth said coldly. Chapter 1439 Intolerable Bullying 2 Beidou Demon Lord's expression darkened when he heard that youth's unrelenting reprimands. Putting down his dear dragon peach, he looked at the youth coldly and said, What younger sister you or not? Why must my little sister apologize to anyone? What a joke. Little sister. Ha. So much for having the Jiang family bloodline in your body. You actually relegated to becoming brothers with an ape. How disgusting. It is seriously a humiliation to the Jiang family to let such a person like you crawl into the Jiang family. The youth in the lead scoffed and immediately looked at the people behind him. Since someone is so shameless, there's no need for us to be polite either. We should properly teach this newbie the rules of the Jiang family. The moment that youth spoke, the teenagers behind him immediately walked toward Beidou Demon Lord and Yi Qingtang. Only Yi Sun stood beside that youth in the lead with a gloating expression. Luckily, Brother Yiming is here today. Otherwise, no one can help Sister Yu after she suffered such an injustice. The youth in the lead was Jiang Yiming, one of the grandchildren of the domain monarch. Ever since Yi Yu returned to the Jiang family, she was very close to Jiang Yiming. Of course I have to help younger sister Yu vent her anger after she suffered such a huge injustice. There's no need for Aunt Qin to step in such small matters, Jiang Yiming said. A smile flashed across Yi Sun's face as she watched Yi Qingtang, who was encircled by the group. Failing to use Jiang Qin to get rid of Yi Qingtang yesterday remained as Yi Yu's sore point. Fortunately, Yi Qingtang's parents were not in the Jiang family, and it would be best to get rid of her at this timing. Moreover, the issue could be shirked if Jiang Yiming and the other younger generation people killed Yi Qingtang. By then, even if Jiang Lang and his wife came back, they could not say much about it. This was also what Jiang Qin wanted. Yi Qingtang's expression darkened immediately as she looked at the people encircling her. She knew that Yi Yu would definitely not let things be so easily. Especially after knowing that her parents had no regard for laws and rules, Yi Yu would definitely get rid of her before they returned. Little sister, what's with these Jiang family people? They were clearly the ones who brought you back, but now, Beidou Demon Lord could also tell that these unfriendly people clearly targeted Yi Qingtang. A tinge of coldness emerged in Yi Qingtang's eyes. Most of these people were above arcane supremacy 5th heaven, and one of them even reached the 8th heaven, which was on par with Yi Qingtang's skills. Yi Qingtang still had confidence if she fought them one-on-one, but it was clear that they were not intending to do that. Bullying the outnumbered. So this is what you all are capable of. Yi Qingtang put on a calm front as she shot Jiang Yiming a sarcastic look. Ha! There's no need for principles in dealing with people like you. You offended my younger sister you. Even if you are killed, you deserve it. Jiang Yiming snickered. Yi Qingtang could tell that these people were under Jiang Yiming. Seeing that they had already surrounded herself and Beidou Demon Lord and blocked an escape route, Yi Qingtang changed her mind immediately. In this case, you want to help Yi Yu to seek revenge? Of course. Jiang Yiming replied. You're just an incapable bastard to help Yi Yu seek revenge. You don't dare to come over to personally avenge Yi Yu and only dare to send them to me. Why? Could it be that you're afraid of me? Yi Qingtang seemed to be completely fearless as she spoke with a provocative tone. Chapter 1440 Intolerable Bullying 3 Beidou Demon Lord could not help but worry for Yi Qingtang. What happened to his little sister? These people clearly wanted to kill her, but why was she provoking them instead? As expected, Jiang Yiming's expression darkened immediately upon hearing what Yi Qingtang said. Who did you say is afraid? You. Yi Qingtang raised an eyebrow fearlessly. Jiang Yiming snickered as he looked at Yi Qingtang murderously. Yi Qingtang, you're really unafraid of death. Even Yi Sun could not hide her laughter at this point. Was this Yi Qingtang a fool? She actually provoked Jiang Yiming at such a time. Among those people, the most skilled of them was merely at arcane supremacy 8th heaven, but Jiang Yiming was already in the heavenly venerate realm. Yi Qingtang actually dared to provoke Jiang Yiming now. This was clearly courting death. I am not afraid of death. It's just unknown whether someone has the courage to fight with me, Yi Qingtang said with an arrogant laugh. Jiang Yiming's expression darkened further. He lifted his chin slightly, and those people surrounding Yi Qingtang backed down to the side immediately. Yi Qingtang, I've seen people who wanted to die but not those who really courted death like you. Since you want to challenge me one-on-one so fearlessly, I'll grant your wish then. Jiang Yiming took a step forward as he looked at Yi Qingtang murderously. Yi Qingtang glanced at the dispersed group from the corner of her eyes and secretly signaled Beidou Demon Lord behind her. Beidou Demon Lord's eyes almost popped out when he saw Yi Qingtang's hand sign. Yet, Yi Qingtang put on a conceited manner and said, Heavenly Venerate. That's some skill. Since your skills exceed mine by a realm, shouldn't you go easy on me? Jiang Yiming did not expect that Yi Qingtang could say such a thing and was dumbfounded. Yi Sun chided from the side. Yi Qingtang, are you shameless? You were the one who provoked Brother Yiming, but now you still dare to ask him to go easy on you. Why? Does a heavenly venerate not have the courage to go easy on me, an arcane supremacy 8th heaven? Or is this heavenly venerate merely just a decoration? Yi Qingtang said. Yi Sun wanted to say something more, but Jiang Yiming snickered and said suddenly, all right. I'll spare you a move. Yi Qingtang would die regardless. So what if he spared her a move? A smile flashed across Yi Qingtang's eyes when she heard Jiang Yiming. Jiang Yiming stood with his hands behind him and looked at Yi Qingtang nonchalantly. You can, Jiang Yiming intended to scorn Yi Qingtang a little more, but before he could finish his sentence, Yi Qingtang suddenly sent a flying kick at Jiang Yiming's crotch heavily without any warning. Yi Qingtang's kick was too sudden and launched with all her strength. Even Jiang Yiming was not prepared for it at all. Furthermore, this kick was too damn crude. In just a moment, Jiang Yiming whined in agony and kneeled on the ground while holding his certain area. Everyone at the scene was stunned by the kick. They hurriedly rushed up to Jiang Yiming and checked on him when they saw him collapse on the ground. Yi Qingtang took this opportunity and told Beidou Demon Lord. Sworn brother, let's go. To hell with challenging one-on-one. Even if she could defeat Jiang Yiming, given their goals, she would still be jointly attacked by everyone if she defeated him. Why would she remain here and suffer a loss? Subsequently, she leaped up and flew away with the little white tiger in a hand. Beidou Demon Lord was not foolish either. After Yi Qingtang's reminder, he hurriedly followed after and escaped. Chapter 1441 Enemies Meet Again 1. Don't let her escape. Kill her. Jiang Yiming was pallid and sweating. He bared his teeth and bellowed with rage as he looked at the fleeing Yi Qingtang. The group immediately chased after Yi Qingtang and the Beidou Demon Lord while Yi Sun supported Jiang Yiming, who was in such pain that he could not straighten up. Yi Qingtang and the Beidou Demon Lord fled at top speed, but Jiang Yiming's men were extremely able and managed to dog them closely. Coupled with the fact that they were more familiar with the Jiang house, the distance between them and Yi Qingtang gradually narrowed. Yi Qingtang swiftly glanced about, looking for an escape route. Just as Yi Qingtang and the Beidou Demon Lord were looking for an escape route, Jiang Lu, who had been speaking to an elder in the front yard, noticed that something was amiss with Yi Qingtang. "Tang Tang, what's going on?" Jiang Lu blocked Yi Qingtang's way. The elder standing next to Jiang Lu looked at Yi Qingtang sternly. "She's Yi Qingtang?" The old man asked grimly. "Yes, Elder Meng, she is Yi Qingtang." Jiang Lu replied. Elder Meng sized Yi Qingtang up with sharp eyes. Yi Qingtang wanted to continue fleeing, but Jiang Lu blocked her way. However, Yi Qingtang calmed down when she saw Jiang Lu. No matter how arrogant that brat Jiang Yiming was, he could not possibly do anything to her in front of Jiang Lu, right? Jiang Yiming and the others, who were following closely behind, flew towards them when they saw that Yi Qingtang had stopped. "You despicable person, do you think you can escape?" Jiang Lu was surprised to suddenly see a group of youths from the Jiang family chasing Yi Qingtang. "How dare you? What are you doing?" Jiang Lu looked displeased when he spoke. When the group of youths saw Jiang Lu and Elder Meng, they immediately quietened down. "Third uncle, don't let that despicable person escape." Jiang Yiming hobbled over, supported by Yi Sun. His handsome face was ashen, and large drops of sweat clung to his cheeks. Jiang Lu wanted to reprimand Jiang Yiming for spouting nonsense but was taken aback by his haggard appearance. "Yiming, what happened to you?" Jiang Yiming gritted his teeth and glared at Yi Qingtang, who was standing behind Jiang Lu. "It's all her fault." Jiang Lu was bewildered. Jiang Yiming was his elder brother's child, and they had always been close. Yi Qingtang had just returned to the Jiang family yesterday, so why were the two at loggerheads? Yi Sun, who was standing nearby, took it all in and said, "Third uncle, Yi Qingtang went berserk just now and suddenly struck elder brother Ming with an underhanded blow. That's why we're chasing her." Jiang Lu was shocked to hear this. He involuntarily glanced at Yi Qingtang and Jiang Yiming. Yi Qingtang injured Jiang Yiming? How can that be possible? Jiang Lu was well aware of Jiang Yiming's abilities. Yi Qingtang could not possibly hurt him. However, at that moment, Jiang Yiming's ashen face, and his slightly arched back showed what poor state he was in. Also, Yi Qingtang had been fleeing, so there must be something to it. Before Jiang Lu could get to the bottom of the matter, Elder Meng, who was standing nearby, suddenly gave a cold laugh. "Disobedient creature. You've only just returned to the Jiang family, but you're so wild that you dared to strike a fellow brother. This one is definitely a bad apple." Chapter 1442 Enemies Meet Again 2. Yi Qingtang's eyes involuntarily turned to Elder Meng when she heard this extremely unkind remark. But this elder was unfamiliar. Yi Qingtang had never seen him before. He was clearly someone unrelated to her, so why was he so hostile towards her? Perhaps it had something to do with Yi Yu. Jiang Liu's expression grew strange. "Elder Meng, the children are just fussing. There's no need to." The kindly old man, Jiang Lu, wanted to make light of the matter, but Elder Meng laughed coldly. As the elder of the Jiang family's Hall of Justice, I will deal with anyone who breaks the family rules. Yi Qingtang has broken the family rules by striking a member of the clan. Of course, she must be severely punished. Elder Meng narrowed his eyes and spoke coldly. Jiang Yiming and the others secretly sniggered when they heard Elder Meng's words. Yi Qingtang was just too unlucky. Of all the people she could have met, she had run into Elder Meng. Elder Meng was one of the elders who upheld the family rules in the Jiang family. He was harsh and severe and would not show mercy to anyone who broke the family rules. Also, there was an old grudge between Elder Meng and Yi Qingtang's parents, Jiang Lang and his wife. Yi Qingtang would probably die a terrible death this time. That year, Elder Meng was in charge of the Hall of Justice, and Jiang Lang and his wife were members of the Jiang family. However, they had flouted the laws, performing evil deeds everywhere. Elder Meng could not stand it and had tried to interfere several times. This caused Jiang Liang and his wife to dislike him. Once, Elder Meng ordered his son to forcibly drag Jiang Liang away to be punished. Jiang Lang had suddenly lost his temper and broken free of his bonds. He then beat Elder Meng's son to death and left the Jiang family with his wife in tow. From that day on, Elder Meng had hated Jiang Lang and his wife for killing his son. Now, Jiang Lang and his wife's daughter had fallen into Elder Meng's hand. Nothing good would come of this. Elder Meng is right. Elder Meng is the most just in the Jiang family. This Yi Qingtang has broken the family laws and injured our brother Yiming. She should be severely punished. That's right. This Yi Qingtang has been misbehaving ever since she returned to the Jiang family. If she is not severely disciplined, won't she cause chaos in the future? The group of youths all chipped in, hoping that Elder Meng would kill Yi Qingtang with one blow. Yi Qingtang did not know why Elder Meng was against her, but she was not stupid. She saw that things had gone awry and wanted to flee with the Beta Demon Lord at the first opportunity. But Elder Meng would not give Yi Qingtang a chance to escape. He blocked her way and said with his eyes narrowed, "You are not allowed to go anywhere before you have been punished." Yi Qingtang smiled. Punished? I haven't done anything wrong, why should I be punished? You are unreasonable. Did you cause Jiang Yiming's injury? Elder Meng asked coldly. I did, but Yi Qingtang was about to explain, but Elder Meng interrupted her. Since you have admitted it, there is no need to go on. Based on the Jiang family's rules, you will receive 30 strokes of the rod. Since you have just entered the Jiang family and are unfamiliar with the family etiquette, you are in greater need of discipline. Your punishment will be more severe, and you must receive 60 strokes of the rod. Elder Meng did not get to the bottom of the matter and just announced Yi Qingtang's punishment. The rod that the Jiang family used was unusual in that it was made of meteoric iron. Also, the person wielding it was very severe. Just 10 strokes would be sufficient to reduce someone's flesh to pulp, not to mention 60 strokes. Elder Meng was clearly using this opportunity to vent his anger and had increased the severity of her punishment by several times. Chapter 1443 Enemies Meet Again 3 If she really received all 60 strokes of the rod, Yi Qingtang would be half dead even if she survived. Jiang Yiming and the others, who knew how severe punishment by the rod in the Jiang family was, all laughed. This Elder Meng's punishment was even more vicious than theirs. Let's see how Yi Qingtang gets out of it. Jiang Lu was shocked to hear the punishment. Elder Meng, Tang is still young and a girl. How can you, since she is a member of the Jiang family, she must abide by the Jiang family rules. Elder Meng was unmoved. Yi Qingtang could see that Elder Meng was set on killing her. He had not gotten to the bottom of the matter before judging. He was clearly using the opportunity to vent his anger. Even if she told the truth, Elder Meng probably would not show any mercy. But, Jiang Lu still wanted to dissuade him. Jiang Yiming, who was standing nearby, said, "Third uncle, am I not also your junior, like Yi Qingtang?" Jiang Lu gaped. He looked at his dear nephew's ashen face but felt conflicted when he thought of Elder Meng's judgment. Although he wanted to protect Yi Qingtang, in the end, Jiang Yiming was still closer to him. Yi Qingtang completely lost hope when she looked at the silent Jiang Lu. Even within family members, there were different degrees of intimacy. Even though she was now a child of the Jiang family, she could not compare to Jiang Yiming and the other Jiang family disciples, who had grown up by Jiang Liu's side. "You are going too far. What has my little sister done wrong that you want to punish her? They clearly started the trouble, yet how can you forbid my little sister from retaliating? This is the clan of the domain monarch, but all of you have ganged up to bully my little sister. What's the point of remaining in a family like that? Little sister, let's go." The Beidou demon lord could not figure out the intricacies of these human interactions. He only knew that ever since they had arrived in the Jiang family, few had been good to Yi Qingtang. All of them wanted his little sister dead. What was the point in remaining in a place like this? "You're a mere demon. Who are you to speak here?" Elder Meng swept a cold look at the Beidou demon lord. He was suddenly surrounded by an imposing aura, which caused the Beidou demon lord's big frame to shudder. As a member of the Jiang family, she cannot leave until she has been punished for her misdeeds. Elder Meng turned to look at Yi Qingtang. Then, his eyes narrowed. Yi Qingtang has broken the family rules again and again. She must be punished immediately. "Men, bring the rod." A few servants immediately brought out the 2-meter-long meteoric iron rod. Elder Meng personally took the rod and ordered men to hold Yi Qingtang down to receive her punishment. He would conduct this punishment personally. Yi Qingtang narrowed her eyes. She watched the men walk towards her and reach out to pin her down. A gleam of cold light flashed across her eyes. She secretly summoned up her strength, ready to escape. But the moment those men reached out for her, 2 streaks of cold light suddenly flew out from behind Yi Qingtang, heading straight for the 2 servants. The next instant, the 2 streaks of cold light had pierced the 2 servants' brows. They collapsed backward before they could react. There were 2 thumps. The moment they fell, huge gushes of blood sprayed out from the red speck on their brow. "I would like to see who dares to punish my Moe's daughter." A cold voice suddenly rang out from behind Yi Qingtang. The moment this voice rang out, everyone's eyes turned to look behind Yi Qingtang. Chapter 1444 Mother 1. They saw a slender woman in a long, light green robe slowly walking through the doorway of the Jiang house. She had a graceful beauty but was unusually pale, which made her exquisite features seem especially prominent. Her long black hair was worn casually behind her back. As she walked, a few strands gently brushed against her cheeks. Behind her, she was flanked by 2 tall women wearing demon fox masks. One of them carried a long bow. The 2 flashes of cold light that had shot the 2 servants had come from this bow. Everyone in the front yard was shocked by what they saw. Yi Qingtang turned around and saw a delicate-looking beauty, who was almost swaying in the wind. A look of surprise flashed across her eyes. Moe was the name of Jiang Lang's wife, and her so-called mother. At that moment, Elder Meng was looking grim. His eyes were filled with unquenchable hatred as he looked at Moe, who was slowly entering the house. "Moe, aren't you ashamed to come back?" Elder Meng secretly clenched his fists, which were hanging by his side. Jiang Lang had killed his son because of Moe. Moe's gentle beauty made her appear to be fragile and delicate. No one was able to reconcile the delicate-looking beauty before them with the legendary evil demon who killed so wantonly. Even Yi Qingtang had not expected Moe, who had burned an entire city of people in her youth, to appear so harmless and sickly. Cough, cough. Moe raised her hand slightly and covered her lips as she coughed softly. Her already pale face now appeared even frilier. Her eyes were half closed in feebleness. When she glanced at Elder Meng's vicious expression, her lips curved in casual amusement. Elder Meng, are you becoming senile in your old age? I can return to the Jiang house whenever I like. It is not for you to decide. Elder Meng was so angry, he was about to say something, but Moe could not even be bothered to give him a second glance. Her half-hooded eyes now fell on Yi Qingtang. I've come back today only for the sake of my daughter. If Elder Su had not informed me that my daughter had been found, do you think I would enjoy returning to the Jiang family? As she spoke, Moe flicked her hand. With a wave of her sleeve, the aura oppressing Yi Qingtang and the Beidou demon lord was instantly shattered. Come here. Moe gestured at Yi Qingtang. Yi Qingtang looked at her mother, who looked as though she would faint at any moment. Her emotions were in turmoil. Was this the woman who, according to legends, was like an evil demon? Why was she completely different from what she had imagined? Yi Qingtang's heart was filled with uncertainty, but her feet turned obediently and walked towards Moe. Moe sized up Yi Qingtang, and a smile grew on her lips. I've said before that my daughter would be a stunning beauty. Her tone was doting. Yi Qingtang secretly heaved a sigh of relief at Moe's reaction. Ever since she found out that her parents were Jiang Lang and his wife, Yi Qingtang had been frightened. This couple was notorious and had even killed members of the Jiang family. Who knew whether they had any feelings towards their own flesh and blood? She was now a member of the Jiang family but had no support from her parents. She would be at a disadvantage as Yi Yu pursued her. But now it looked like she had been overly concerned. Chapter 1445 Mother 2 Don't worry. As long as your mother is here, no one will harm you at all. Moe lifted her hand and patted Yi Qingtang's head. A gentle smile hung on her lips. Then, she raised her eyes and looked at Elder Meng and the others. The gentleness in her eyes was replaced by a piercing, murderous air. If anyone dares to hurt one hair on your head, I'll flay him. If anyone dares to bully you, I'll scrape the meat off his bones. Although Moe spoke gently, every word was ice-cold. Everyone's scalp prickled. Elder Meng raised his brows. Moe, it is enough that you and Jiang Lang have disregarded the Jiang family rules. Now, your daughter has only just returned to the Jiang family and has already done something wrong. How can we let her off? What has my daughter done wrong? Moe raised her brows slightly. Elder Meng glanced at Jiang Yiming and the others. Only then did Jiang Yiming snap out of the trance induced by Moe's intimidating air. Jiang Yiming was still young when Jiang Lang and Moe left the Jiang family, so he had no impression of them. He had only heard Jiang family members mention them a few times. A youth standing next to Jiang Yiming advanced. He saw that Moe looked frail, and with Elder Meng to back him up, he was not afraid. He said, Yi Qingtang hit my brother Yiming for no reason. All of us witnessed it. Moe was pale as her eyes swept over the youth's face. Did you see it? That's right, said the youth. Which of your eyes saw it? Moe asked indifferently. Of course both eyes saw it. Ah. Before the youth could finish speaking, Moe's figure flashed by as she dug out the youth's eyes. Then, in a flash, she returned to her original spot, but her pale and slender fingers held a pair of eyeballs that were dripping with blood. How can someone with no eyes see? Moe lifted her chin slightly. She squeezed her fingers together and squashed the eyeballs. The thick scent of blood immediately spread through the front courtyard. No one expected Moe to suddenly strike and dig out the youth's eyeballs. Even Yi Qingtang, who was watching from the sidelines, was dumbfounded. Now, she really believed that this frail-looking Moe was really the vicious demon in legends. Truly. One cannot judge a book by its cover. Moe. How dare you injure someone? Elder Meng glared at her. Jiang Lu, who had not even managed to greet Moe, was shocked. Injure someone? Did anyone's eyes see me injure someone? Moe blandly glanced at everyone present. Jiang Yiming and the other youths, who had been so aggressive, were now shocked into silence when they saw Moe dig out their companion's eyes. All of them shivered uncontrollably. Who would dare to say they had seen it? If they said so, wouldn't their eyeballs be dug out too? Seems like no one saw it. Elder Meng, you must be getting old, and your eyesight is failing. Why would I injure someone for no reason? Moe laughed softly. As everyone stared, she calmly took out a handkerchief and slowly wiped the stains off her hands. Elder Meng's expression grew even grimmer. Moe, don't you use these tactics to intimidate the youths of my Jiang family. I may be old, but I can still see clearly. You have turned a blind eye to your daughter's violence and severely injured a Jiang family member. You are impudent. Impudent? Moe casually tossed the blood-stained handkerchief aside. Her eyes suddenly grew sharp. Chapter 1446 Mother 3 So what if I am impudent? Putting aside the matter of whether my daughter really broke the family rules, even if she did, I would like to see who dares to touch a hair on her head while I am present. Moe's half-hooded eyes swept across everyone present. Her arrogance was intimidating. You! Elder Meng's face darkened, and the spirit energy around him suddenly started to ripple. Jiang Lu, who was standing nearby, saw that Elder Meng and Moe were about to fight. He advanced and said, Second sister-in-law, Tang Tang was really in the wrong in this matter. Tang Tang has just returned to the Jiang family. Second sister-in-law. Surely, you do not wish Tang Tang to suffer in the Jiang family in the future. What a joke. How can my daughter remain in the Jiang family? Moe laughed coldly. Jiang Liu's head started to ache. He really could not deal with his second brother and sister-in-law. Second sister-in-law, this was just a joke among the children, and there is no need to take it too seriously. Elder Meng only spoke in a fit of anger just now. Tang Tang only needs to apologize, and the matter will be resolved. It's rare for you to pay a visit to the Jiang family. There is no need to do this. Tell me, who did Tang Tang injure? Moe suddenly asked. Jiang Lu said, she injured our elder brother's son, Yiming. As he spoke, Jiang Lu pointed at Jiang Yiming, who was still pale. Moe glanced at Jiang Yiming. When Jiang Yiming's gaze met Moe's eyes, he subconsciously shrank back. Moe curled her lip mockingly. Third brother, do you think I'm stupid? This fellow is already in the heavenly venerate realm, but my daughter is just in the 8th heaven of the arcane supremacy realm. Even an idiot could tell who would win when oppressed by someone nearly a realm apart. Jiang Lu had also thought that this matter was unbelievable, but Jiang Yiming's haggard look was certainly not put on. Just now, Elder Meng had not questioned them closely before pronouncing judgment, so he did not know what had actually happened. Jiang Lu asked, tell us what happened just now. The youths who had been so aggressive were all terrified by Moe's intimidating stance. Jiang Yiming subconsciously glanced at Yi Sun, and Yi Sun knew that Jiang Yiming wanted her to speak, so she braced himself and spoke. We were going to visit elder sister Yu together, but on the way, we met Yi Qing Tang. It was the first time brother Yiming and the others were meeting Yi Qing Tang, so they wanted to greet her. But she not only did not appreciate our kindness, but she even mocked us. Brother Yiming and the others tried to reason with her, but she suddenly struck him. When Jiang Lu heard that, he looked at Moe. He was just about to say something when Yi Qing Tang, who had been silent all this while, suddenly spoke. Third uncle, why don't you ask me what happened just now? Jiang Lu was taken aback. He had subconsciously chosen to believe Jiang Yiming and the others, so he had deliberately overlooked Yi Qing Tang. Moe laughed softly. Tang Tang, you tell us. Yi Qingtang nodded. Yi Sun, you stay in the East Garden, as does Yi Yu. You said that you met me along the way, but I stay in the West Garden. Since you were looking for Yi Yu, why were you passing by my place? The statement from Yi Sun and the others was full of loopholes. Yi Qingtang had not pointed them out previously because she knew that even if she did, Elder Meng and Jiang Lu would still side with Jiang Yiming and the others. No one would believe her. But now, the circumstances were different. Her mother was back. She had someone to back her up. Chapter 1447 Protecting 1-inch child. When Yi Sun opened her mouth to explain, but Yi Qingtang continued. If third uncle does not believe me, he can send someone to look in the yard outside my room. We just left. I believe the footprints can still be seen clearly. Yi Sun wanted to accuse Yi Qingtang of lying, but Yi Qingtang's words prevented her from making his plea. Yi Sun's expression was extremely ugly. Jiang Yiming could see that things were not going well. He was about to ask a companion to go and secretly tamper with the evidence, but Moe noticed. She nodded slightly, and the serving women with the demon fox masks, who were standing behind her, immediately arose and caught hold of the youth who was planning to sneak away and destroy the evidence. Third brother, hadn't you better send someone to take a look? Moe said with a soft laugh. Jiang Liu's expression darkened. He had no choice but to send someone to investigate. Just as Yi Qingtang had said, Jiang Yiming and the others had left hurriedly, thinking only of capturing Yi Qingtang. As a result, they had left a large patch of messy footprints in the yard, outside Yi Qingtang's door. And they ascertained that these footprints belonged to Jiang Yiming and the others. This proved that the excuse of meeting her on the way was false. Jiang Yiming and the others' expressions grew ugly. It's true we were looking for younger sister Yuer, but we recalled that the flowers in the West Garden flower beds were blooming nicely, so we went to pick some to give to her. That's all. Jiang Yiming had a quick mind and found an excuse. That's right. We didn't say we met her on a direct route there. Another youth came forward to corroborate. But at that moment, Jiang Lu and the others looked even grimmer. The flower beds were moved from the West Garden to the East Garden long ago, Jiang Lu said frostily. Jiang Yiming was startled. Only then did he recall this, and his expression grew ugly. The other youths turned pale. Their clumsy excuses had been exposed. Now, their reason for appearing outside Yi Qingtang's room grew increasingly evident. A group of people like that had run over to Yi Qingtang's room en masse, and blows were exchanged. Anyone could see that they had been targeting Yi Qingtang and that it was no coincidence. Jiang Yiming gritted his teeth. We heard that someone new has arrived in the Jiang house, so what's wrong with going over to take a look? You clearly injured someone. The injuries on my body are proof. Elder Meng, who was standing nearby, nodded. No matter how you encountered each other, Yiming was definitely injured by you. This cannot be faked. She had seen shameless people before but not someone as shameless as this. Jiang Yiming and the others said that she had deliberately provoked them and created trouble. Now, it had been proven that they were the first to provoke her, but they changed the pretext to this. Elder Meng, why don't you ask how I injured him? Yi Qingtang laughed coldly. Elder Meng frowned slightly. Yi Qingtang continued. So many of them came looking for me. How capable do you think I am that I can injure someone in the heavenly venerate realm in front of a bunch of people in the arcane supremacy realm? Or perhaps, Yi Qingtang's gaze swept over everyone present. They are really blind. Elder Meng's face grew grimmer. There was something strange about all this, but he had chosen to overlook it. We did not expect you to suddenly attack. That's why you managed to succeed. Jiang Yiming immediately spoke up. Since there was no proof, Yi Qingtang would be unable to disclaim responsibility. Chapter 1448 Protecting 1-inch Child 2 suddenly attacked. Ah! Jiang Yiming, you're so glib. You ordered men to capture my sworn brother and me, and when I argued with you, you decided to challenge me to a one-on-one fight. Why won't you own up now? Asked Yi Qingtang. Who challenged you to a one-on-one fight? Jiang Yiming flatly denied it. Anyway, besides the Beidou demon lord, everyone else present was on his side, and no one would bear witness on Yi Qingtang's behalf. Do you have proof? Don't talk nonsense. That's right, Brother Yiming never challenged you to a one-on-one fight. This is clearly just an excuse. The youth seized upon this point and shouted vigorously. Who says I have no proof? The Beidou demon lord, who had been silent all this while, suddenly spoke. You have proof. If you have proof, then show it to us. Jiang Yiming said nonchalantly. The Beidou demon lord was enraged by this group of people. He had watched them repeatedly bully Yi Qingtang, and his blood was boiling. He took a crystal-clear pearl from the thick fur growing on his chest. Elder Meng and the others were taken aback when he took out this pearl. Memory pearl? Jiang Lu looked in astonishment at the pearl that the Beidou demon lord was holding. The memory pearl could record recent events but only for a limited time. Also, if it was not activated, its records would be erased as time passed. Earlier scenes that had been recorded would be quickly replaced with new scenes. But the memory pearl would be destroyed once it was activated. The memory pearl could only be used once. A trace of amusement flashed across Yi Qingtang's eyes when she saw the memory pearl in the Beidou demon lord's hand. In her previous life, she had already learned that her sworn brother carried this memory pearl on his person. The Beidou demon lord had obtained this memory pearl by chance when he was young and always carried it with him. However, this object was not very useful, so the Beidou demon lord had not used it in his previous life. Yi Qingtang had dared to oppose Jiang Yiming and the others because she knew that the Beidou demon lord had this treasure on his person. Memory pearl? What's that? The memory pearl was rather useless, so it was natural that Jiang Yiming and the others had never seen it. The Beidou demon lord laughed coldly and said, Didn't you want proof? Let me show you the proof. The moment he finished speaking, the Beidou demon lord abruptly crushed the memory pearl. The moment the memory pearl was crushed, the scenes it had recorded immediately unfurled before their eyes. The first scene was of the Beidou demon lord and Yi Qingtang, sitting on the ground and enjoying a good meal. But before long, Jiang Yiming and the others rushed over aggressively. The memory pearl not only recorded these scenes, but it even clearly recorded the voices. Everyone present could now clearly hear the taunts and challenges issued by Jiang Yiming and the others. Even the challenge he issued to Yi Qingtang for a one-on-one fight could be clearly heard. Jiang Yiming's face instantly turned pale. He had not imagined that this lowly demon would possess such a strange Dharma treasure. The true scenes and the clear voices toward Jiang Yiming's lies apart. All of you can now see clearly that it was these people who bullied my younger sister. He is also the one who agreed to a one-on-one fight with my little sister. My little sister has not uttered a single lie. The Beidou demon lord did not regret the loss of the memory pearl in the least. He was even willing to give up his life as long as he could prove Yi Qingtang's innocence. Chapter 1449 Protecting 1-inch Child 3 The expression of everyone present flickered. Jiang Yiming and the others bowed their heads silently. They looked embarrassed and anxious. Jiang Lu had not expected the truth to be like that. Jiang Yiming and the others had really deliberately provoked Yi Qingtang and tried to make trouble for her. But he had fully believed Jiang Yiming and repeatedly asked Yi Qingtang to apologize to him. Even though he was biased, Jiang Lu could not help but feel embarrassed. Ah! Is this how the Jiang family does things? My daughter has just returned to the Jiang family, and you bully her like that. Moe laughed in rage. A cold light shone in her eyes. They could tell from the scenes conjured by the memory pearl that if Yi Qingtang had not been alert and resourceful, she would have been killed by their combined attack. After all, Yi Qingtang was not injured. Jiang Yiming and the others may have overstepped the boundaries a little, but it is true that Yi Qingtang suddenly attacked and injured someone. According to our family rules, she should still be punished. Elder Meng did not change tack even after he saw everything. In the scenes just now, Yi Qingtang really attacked someone suddenly and injured him, just as Jiang Yiming and the others said. Is there anything wrong with that? Yi Qingtang was impressed by how he could take things out of context. This Elder Meng really hated her. Elder Meng, what have I done wrong? Jiang Yiming volunteered to fight me one-on-one. What's the matter? Am I not allowed to fight? Yi Qingtang laughed coldly. Although it was a one-on-one fight, you attacked before the match started. You were not abiding by the rules. Elder Meng doggedly held on to this point and refused to let go. Yi Qingtang suddenly laughed loudly. Elder Meng, are you deaf? Just now, the memory pearl clearly recorded that Jiang Yiming volunteered to let me go first, so of course, I struck the first blow. I only did so with his agreement. Who knew that he could still spout so much nonsense? Yi Qingtang's argument was watertight. Elder Meng's expression immediately darkened. The truth was that Jiang Yiming had agreed to let her go first before she attacked. Based on this reasoning, Yi Qingtang's sudden strike was not a covert attack but the start of the match. Jiang Yiming had no grounds for complaint after he was kicked. Elder Meng had repeatedly insisted on her guilt, but Yi Qingtang had easily refuted him. Now, his expression turned ugly. Jiang Yiming was angry and annoyed. He had not expected Yi Qingtang to be so cunning. Moe suddenly laughed at the scene before her. You are truly worthy to be my daughter. You're not so easily bullied. Moe looked at Yi Qingtang dotingly. Even if Yi Qingtang was in the wrong, Moe would not allow her to be harmed, much less if she was in the right. With that, she looked up, and her gaze swept across everyone present. Her look was wintry and merciless. We have clearly established what happened today. In the future, if anyone dares to use this matter to make things difficult for Tang Tang, I will reduce them to ashes. Jiang Yiming and the others were so frightened by Moe's gaze that they started to quiver all over. Her words were clearly a warning to them. Tang Tang was clearly the victim here. They bullied her. Based on the Jiang family rules, they should be punished. Moe's half-hooded eyes looked straight at Elder Meng, who kept trying to pronounce Yi Qingtang's guilt. They had bullied her daughter. How could they be let off so easily? She's not injured at all. What did we do wrong? Jiang Yiming immediately protested when he heard that he was to be punished. Moe laughed coldly. Elder Meng said solemnly, she brought it on herself because of her bad character. Yi Qingtang must have conducted herself improperly, as they would not have provoked her for no reason. Ultimately, she is the one who caused all this trouble after she entered the Jiang family, so she is still at fault. Chapter 1450 Protecting 1-inch Child 4 Elder Meng, do you really think I'm afraid of you? Moe looked at Elder Meng, and her lips curved in a chilly smile. Before you falsely accuse Tang Tang, why don't you ask her mother if she will permit it? As Moe finished speaking, the two demon fox servants behind her stepped forward. One held a bow and the other a sword. Both looked murderous. Moe, do you still dare to do as you please within the Jiang family's territory? Elder Meng shouted coldly. This is not the first time I've done as I please here. What's one time more or less? Moe replied frostily. Jiang Lu saw that Moe and Elder Meng were about to fight and immediately stepped forward to mediate. But at that moment, Yi Qingtang said, Elder Meng, are you saying I conducted myself improperly? Of course. Why else would they provoke you and not someone else? Elder Meng spoke with certainty. Yi Qingtang laughed softly. When they arrived, they made it clear that they were avenging Yi Yu. Elder Meng, have you forgotten their words? Elder Meng frowned. You say I brought it on myself because of my bad character, but what have I done wrong? Yi Yu took my spirit root, and now, she turns around and puts the blame on me, urging these people to teach me a lesson. Do they really think I'm so easily bullied because I'm an orphan? Now, my mother is back, and you're still trying to falsely accuse me? Yi Qingtang laughed coldly. Tang Tang, what are you saying? Moe was startled. Yi Qingtang looked at Moe and told her how Yi Yu had stolen her spirit root. A look of shock flashed across Moe's pale face, and her eyes were filled with tenderness. After Moe gave birth, her enemies took her child away before she even set eyes on it. For years, Moe had not mentioned it but had secretly sent men to search for her daughter. Now, she was naturally delighted to finally meet Yi Qingtang. But she would never have expected that her daughter's spirit root had been forcibly dug out of her. Good, very good. Moe suddenly chuckled. She lowered her eyes, but her laughter sent cold chills down their spines. Elder Meng's expression froze. Of course, he did not know that Yi Yu had stolen Yi Qingtang's spirit root. But even if it was true, why did it matter? The next moment, Moe suddenly looked up. She abruptly raised her slender arm, and a white ray of light shot from her palm and blasted towards Jiang Yiming. No one expected that Moe, who was still chuckling, would suddenly attack. She struck so suddenly that Elder Meng and Jiang Lu did not have time to react. The next moment, Jiang Yiming was hit by the white light. He flew like a kite with a broken string and crashed heavily into a stone pillar. A large mouthful of blood spurted from his mouth. You are not to belittle my daughter. If the Jiang family will not protect her, her mother will protect her myself. I will not show mercy to anyone who bullied her. Moe's arrogant air grew, and her limpid eyes filled with murderous intent. Jiang Lu hurried over to Jiang Yiming's injuries to check on his injuries. Moe reached out and grabbed Yi Qingtang's wrist. She leaped upwards and flew towards the Jiang family's backyard. Tang Tang, don't be afraid. Mother will dig your spirit root out of that despicable person's body and return it to you. With your mother here, no one will bully you anymore. Chapter 1451 Protecting 1-inch Child 5 The two demon fox servants and the Beidou demon lord immediately followed. Oh no, Moe has gone to look for Yi Yu. Jiang Lu was shocked and realized that things were going badly. Elder Meng immediately gave chase, leaving behind the severely wounded Jiang Yiming and the terrified youths. In the courtyard of the eastern garden, a pale-looking Yi Yu was strolling through the courtyard in the company of Jiang Qin. Jiang Qin looked tenderly at Yi Yu's pale little face. She knew what Yi Yu was thinking, so Jiang Qin spoke. Don't worry about it anymore. I've already asked Yiming to teach that little bitch a lesson. Who is she that you should worry about her like that? I can't bear to see you looking like this. Yi Yu giggled inwardly when she heard Jiang Qin's words. She knew that Jiang Qin was childless and so doted on Yi Yu. For the past 2 days, she had deliberately pretended to be depressed and listless in front of Jiang Qin. Aunt Qin, I don't want my problems to give you trouble. In the matter involving Yi Qingtang, my grandfather was in the wrong. I understand why she hates me. I just don't want to disrupt the peace in the Jiang family. Yi Yu pretended to be sensible. How was your grandfather in the wrong? How can that little bitch compare to you? It is an honor for her to have her spirit root residing in your body. The two of you are as disparate as clouds and mud. Jiang Qin despised Yi Qingtang. Also, Yi Qingtang's appearance had caused Yi Yu so much grief that she hated Yi Qingtang even more. Aunt Qin, you're so good to me. Yi Yu gave Jiang Qin a grateful look. Jiang Qin's lips curved in a hint of a smile. She patted Yi Yu's head and said, "Silly child, by the time this matter is resolved, your grandfather should have come out of seclusion. Then, he will certainly select a better set of cultivation techniques for you. You only need to focus and build a firm foundation. There is no need to waste your energy on such worthless people." Yi Yu smiled smugly. So what if Yi Qingtang crawled into the Jiang family? She was all alone with no one to back her up. How could she be a match for Yi Yu? As the two of them were talking, Jiang Qin suddenly sensed a piercing aura floating through the air towards them. The next moment, Moe appeared before them with Yi Qingtang in tow. A look of shock flashed across Yi Yu's eyes when she saw Yi Qingtang. Jiang Qin said she had ordered Jiang Yiming to bring some men to teach Yi Qingtang a lesson. Yi Yu knew of Jiang Qin's ability and thought that Yi Qingtang would suffer terribly. But, she had not expected Yi Qingtang to appear before her eyes, completely unharmed. Also, a frail-looking but exquisitely beautiful woman stood next to Yi Qingtang. Yi Yu had not seen this woman before. Although Yi Yu had never seen her before, Jiang Qin recognized her at a glance. Moe. Jiang Qin frowned as she looked at Moe, who had appeared with Yi Qingtang. Yi Yu was shocked by Jiang Qin's words. Moe. Isn't that the name of Jiang Lang's wife? Yi Yu subconsciously widened her eyes and stared at Moe. Why has Moe suddenly returned? Wasn't it said that this couple was eccentric and vicious? Yi Yu had assumed that Jiang Lang and his wife would not care about their relatives and had not expected Moe to return. Is she Yi Yu? Moe did not even bother to look at Jiang Qin. At that moment, she was intent on disemboweling Yi Yu, who had snatched her daughter's spirit root. Chapter 1452 Protecting 1-inch child 6 Yi Qingtang glanced at Yi Yu and nodded. A cold smile surfaced on Moe's pale face. Her half-hooded eyes passed over Yi Yu. As Moe's gaze passed over Yi Yu, she felt as if a poisonous serpent was crawling over her. She shuddered and involuntarily ducked behind Jiang Qin. Jiang Qin had naturally noticed Moe's hostility. She advanced and hid Yi Yu behind her. Moe, why are you here? Jiang Qin, you should at least call me second sister-in-law. Moe raised her chin slightly and glanced coldly at Jiang Qin. Then she said frostily, but right now, you'd better get lost. Aunt Qin, Yi Yu was no fool. She clearly sensed Moe's murderous intent that was directed at her. She frantically held on to Jiang Qin's sleeve. Jiang Qin frowned. When she saw Moe and Yi Qingtang appear together, she knew that things had gone awry. Her brother and his wife were unpredictable by nature. She wanted to get rid of Yi Qingtang before they returned but could not be certain of what they thought. But now, Moe was back, and her attitude was unmistakable. Don't be afraid. I'm here. Jiang Qin consoled her. With that, Jiang Qin stepped forward and looked at Moe icily. Moe, this is the Jiang family. You are not allowed to just do whatever you like. Moe covered her lips and smiled. All of you are so funny. You know I'm used to doing whatever I like, but you're still carping at me. Jiang Qin, since you are Jiang Lang's younger sister, I won't quibble with you. You just get lost. Today, I will make this Yi Yu return my daughter's spirit root. When Jiang Qin heard that, her expression grew grim, and she tightened her defense around Yi Yu. Dream on. This spirit root has long belonged to you. Then I will cut open her abdomen and dig it out with my own hands. I don't mind getting dirty. Moe's lips curled slightly as she reached out for Yi Yu. Jiang Qin was startled and hurriedly intercepted her blow. The instant the two of them exchanged blows, there was a huge explosion as the artificial mountain in the yard blew up. Yi Qingtang was shocked as she watched Jiang Qin and Moe fight. Jiang Qin was extremely powerful. She only had to exert a little force, and Yi Qingtang would be rendered motionless. But Moe did not pale in comparison. As she exchanged blows with Jiang Qin, she slowly gained the upper hand. In a moment, Moe and Jiang Qin were embroiled in a fight. The two serving women and the Beta Demon Lord also hurried over. "Young mistress, please stand back or you might be affected." A demon fox servant blocked Yi Qingtang. The Beta Demon Lord was inwardly shocked by the scene before him. He had thought that his little sister's mother was very eccentric but had not expected her to be so powerful. "Little sister, your mother is so powerful." Yi Qingtang herself had not expected this. In her previous life, she had only known that Moe was notorious but had not paid attention to her abilities. The demon fox servant said, "Our mistress is the princess of the ancient dynasty. Naturally, her cultivation techniques are different from others, and her powers are superior." Yi Qingtang was slightly taken aback. The princess of the ancient dynasty? The ancient dynasty was the first dynasty to be established in central mainland 10,000 years ago. It had an illustrious history, and every member of its royal family was a top-notch cultivator. It was dominant for a time and governed the entire mainland. Even the major ancient clans had to submit to the ancient dynasty. But 10,000 years ago, the ancient dynasty had declined for some reason, and the members of its royal family gradually vanished from sight. Chapter 1453 Arrogance 1. The demise of the ancient dynasty was a mystery to everyone in central mainland. Thousands of years ago, men might still remember some legends about the ancient dynasty, but as time passed, the name ancient dynasty became foreign to many. Even in legends, the top cultivators of the ancient dynasty were slowly forgotten. Yi Qingtang would never have thought that Moe was a princess of the ancient dynasty. Did that mean that the ancient dynasty was not completely extinct? Legend had it that the bloodline of the ancient dynasty was special and their cultivation techniques extreme. A normal person could not even have a taste of it. Yi Qingtang was unable to tell what cultivation realm Moe was in. Even now, as Moe and Jiang Qin fought, she could not see clearly. Moe's aura was turbid, and it was hard to tell what realm she was in. Although she could not tell what realm Moe was in, Moe had firmly suppressed Jiang Qin. Jiang Qin was extremely talented, and within the Jiang family, she was considered to be one of the elite members of her generation. Few could compare to her. Even so, she was no match for Moe. At that moment, Yi Yu, who was standing nearby, was growing increasingly frantic. She thought that with Jiang Qin to protect her, no one in the Jiang family could touch her. She had not dreamed that Yi Qingtang's mother would have such terrifying powers. Even two Jiang Qins were no match for her. Yi Yu could not help but panic. If Jiang Qin lost, wouldn't she suffer too? She subconsciously tried to flee. But her movements did not escape Moe's sharp eyes. Even as she traded blows with Jiang Qin, Moe did not overlook this girl who was responsible for stealing her daughter's spirit root. "Don't let her go," Moe said with a cold laugh. The two demon fox servants immediately flew over and attacked Yi Yu. Yi Qingtang now realized that both the demon fox servants were heavenly venerates. Even Yi Yu, who was at the ninth heaven of the arcane supremacy, was no match for them. Her mother's companions were truly talented people keeping a low profile. "You are." Jiang Qin saw that Yi Yu was in danger and wanted to rescue her, but before she could take a single step towards Yi Yu, Moe blocked her way with a flash of cold light. "Jiang Qin, where do you think you're going?" "I haven't had enough fun yet." The amused smile on Moe's lips deepened. Jiang Qin was now frantic. She wanted to disengage herself to rescue Yi Yu but was unable to rid herself of Moe. Yi Yu screamed with fright as she saw the two demon fox servants charging towards her. At that moment, Elder Meng suddenly flew over and raised his hands to force the two demon fox servants back. Jiang Lu, who was slightly behind him, also arrived. He was alarmed to see Moe and Jiang Qin embroiled in a fight. Second sister-in-law. Have mercy. Jiang Lu panicked. He knew Moe's powers and knew that Jiang Qin was no match for her. Moe would not listen. Her blows grew increasingly vicious, and within a few rounds, Jiang Qin's face had been scraped in several places. Things were going badly for her. At that moment, Tuoba Yao, who had gone out, hurriedly returned. When he saw Moe suppressing Jiang Qin, he looked grim and immediately worked with Jiang Qin to force Moe back. Moe pivoted and landed next to Yi Qingtang. Her pale face remained composed. What's the matter? Are you in a hurry to die? Chapter 1454 Arrogance 2 Moe, don't go too far. Jiang Qin panted into Tuoba Yao's arms. She looked viciously at Moe. So what if I'm bullying you? Moe raised her brows slightly, completely unafraid. Tuoba Yao's eyes glittered, and a murderous aura rippled around him. The two demon fox servants instantly returned to Jiang Qin's side and flanked her with a serious air. It looked as if the fight was about to start again, and Jiang Lu hurriedly advanced and said, Second sister-in-law, we are all family. Why disrupt the harmony in our family? All family? Moe laughed softly. Her eyes were as cold as ice. We are all family, but you permitted someone to snatch my daughter's spirit root? We are all family, but you allow the younger generation of the Jiang family to bully my daughter at will? What rubbish! I, Moe, am not in the same clan as you. If you don't hand you over to me today, I don't mind killing the entire Jiang family. Moe's aura surged, and her robes flew. Jiang Qin and the others had extremely ugly expressions. Moe had always been like that. She did not respect anyone. Her hands were even stained with Jiang family blood. Second sister-in-law, Yu is also a child of our Jiang family. It is all water under the bridge. Just forget it. You're rarely home. Why make things so difficult? Jiang Lu continued to cajole. Moe laughed coldly and looked at Jiang Lu scornfully. At that moment, Jiang Lu realized that his words were inappropriate. Yi Yu was a child of the Jiang family, so they wanted to protect her. However, Yi Qingtang was also a child of the Jiang family, but the younger generation of the Jiang family had bullied her repeatedly. We were biased in this incident. Second sister-in-law, please calm down. Father is currently in seclusion. Why not wait for father to end his seclusion before making a decision? Jiang Lu used a conciliatory tone. Moe's gaze passed over everyone present. She seemed scornful of Jiang Liu's words. Second sister-in-law, even if you don't consider yourself, please consider second brother in Tang Tang. The Jiang family blood flows in their veins, Jiang Lu said. Moe was definitely at a disadvantage in the current situation. If it were just Jiang Qin alone, Moe would not be concerned. But now, Tuoba Yao, Elder Meng, and Jiang Lu were all on Yi Yu's side. If Moe forced the matter, they might seize the opportunity to harm Yi Qingtang. After some consideration, Moe said frostily, when is the domain monarch ending his seclusion? When Jiang Lu heard that there was room of discussion, he immediately said, Father will end his seclusion in 3 days at the latest. Then we'll give her a few more days. In 3 days, when the domain monarch ends his seclusion, I will insist she returns my daughter her spirit root, regardless of his judgment, Moe said frostily. Dream on. Moe, you just try to touch a hair on Yuer's head. Jiang Qin glared at Moe viciously. Moe swept a glance at Jiang Qin. Her lips curved in an icy smile. In 3 days' time, not only will I touch her, but I will disembowel her and take her spirit root. How dare you? Why wouldn't I dare? Moe said coldly. If Tuoba Yao had not held her back, Jiang Qin would probably start fighting with Moe again. Yi Yu was standing nearby, watching Moe, who was like a killing god. When she heard that Moe wanted to disembowel her, she felt a chill throughout her body. She could not help but recall how she and a Yi family elder had disemboweled Yi Qingtang together and dug out her spirit root. No. She definitely did not want to end up like that. Moe could not be bothered to quibble with them. She flew off with Yi Qingtang and the others. Chapter 1455 Arrogance 3 Jiang Lu only heaved a sigh of relief after Moe left. His back was soaked in cold sweat. Third brother, why do you need to be so timid? That Moe is just too disrespectful. We have numbers on our side. Why should we be afraid of her? Jiang Qin was angered by Jiang Liu's weak nature. But Jiang Lu said, can you calm down? So what if we have numbers on our side? You know that Moe is from the ancient dynasty. What about the ancient dynasty? It's been dead for 10,000 years. The central mainland of today is no longer in the era of the ancient dynasty. Our Jiang family is the current domain monarch. Jiang Qin said coldly. The ancient dynasty no longer exists, but don't you know about the ancient dynasty's strange cultivation techniques? We've known Moe for many years, but no one has ever determined her cultivation level. Father will end his seclusion in a few days. Everything can wait until he ends his seclusion and deals with it. Why do you need to be so impatient? Jiang Lu frowned and seemed rather agitated. Jiang Qin wanted to continue, but Tuoba Yao pulled her aside, so she only grunted coldly. Yi Yu, who was standing nearby, was completely ashen. This time, her pallor was real, unlike her previous act. Don't worry. Aunt Qin will back you up. I would like to see whether that Moe has the ability to touch you within the Jiang family. Jiang Qin looked at Yi Yu's paper-white face and comforted her tenderly. Aunt Qin. I'm frightened. Yi Qingtang's mother says she's going to dig out my spirit root. I know Yi Qingtang hates me, but we're sisters. Yi Yu pretended to quiver in fright and looked pitiable. Jiang Qin felt even more tenderness towards her. What sisters? She's not fit to be your sister. If she had not tattled to Moe and asked Moe to come and dig out your spirit root, Moe would not know about all this. Yi Yu secretly wept pitifully. Meanwhile, Moe brought Yi Qingtang back to the western courtyard, and Yi Qingtang invited Moe into her room. Moe studied the room, then tugged at Yi Qingtang's hand, and sat down. She spoke. Tang, don't worry. I will certainly get your spirit root back for you. There were too many of them just now. If I took the risk and just fought them to the death, I'm afraid Jiang Qin and the others would harm you out of desperation. Yi Qingtang looked at Moe. Although she knew Moe was not her real mother, her heart was filled with warmth. She had been adopted by Yi Ling when she was young, and she had never had a mother or experienced a mother's love. This time, she had traveled to the central dynasty hoping to find her mother. But at that moment, Moe had allowed her to experience the greatness of a mother's love. Which was to protect her child at all costs, even if she made enemies of everyone else. I know, mother. Moe was startled to be called mother. Her limpid eyes suddenly grew moist. She gathered Yi Qingtang into her arms and half closed her eyes, caressing this treasure that had once been lost. These years have been hard on you. But now that you have returned to my side, I will protect you. If anyone has hurt you, I will avenge you. Yi Qingtang almost greedily luxuriated in this precious maternal love. Whether in her past or present life, this was her first time experiencing such warmth. But at that moment, she could not help but envy the green-robed girl for having such a doting mother. When she thought of the green-robed girl, Yi Qingtang somehow felt that she had overlooked something. Chapter 1456 Extermination 1. In her previous life, Yi Qingtang did not have any interactions with Jiang Lang and his wife in the central mainland and only knew that they slaughtered people mercilessly. However, not long after Yi Qingtang reached the central mainland, the couple suddenly disappeared. She only happened to hear that the couple's corpses were found in a desert mountain when she was about to leave the central mainland. They had already died for many years when they were found, but their corpses were dried, and all their cultivation was completely devoured. Jiang Lang and his wife committed many sins when they were alive, and no one collected their corpses even after they died. It was the Jiang family that learned of the news a very long time later and hastily sent people to collect their corpses. Yi Qingtang did not pay much attention then, but it was a little strange thinking about it now. Given Mo's and Jiang Lang's skills, how could they die without a sound? Moreover, according to what the person who discovered the corpses said, there were no scars found, and there did not seem to be any fights before they died. What kind of person could suck dry all of the couple's cultivation without them laying a hand on the person? A shocking guess flashed across Yi Qingtang's mind suddenly. Could it be that their powers were devoured by the heavenly demon devouring bloodline? Yi Qingtang was shocked by her own guess. She did not meet the lady in green in her previous life, and the devouring bloodline was still on that lady while that lady was the biological daughter of Moe and Jiang Lang. If not for the sudden change in this lifetime's trajectory, perhaps that lady in green would return to the Jiang family in the future and to the couple's side. If it was their biological daughter, Jiang Lang and his wife probably would not have their guard up against her. Returning to her family, devouring her parents' skills, and killing them. Yi Qingtang increasingly found that these clues seemed to corroborate with the couple's death. However, this was only her guess, and she did not know what exactly happened in her previous life. Yi Qingtang did not have many feelings toward Jiang Lang and his wife in her previous life, but Moe protected her so much today. Yi Qingtang had a heart as well, so how could she not be grateful? Moe was unaware of Yi Qingtang's guesses and only let go of her reluctantly after hugging for a long time. Her motherly gaze scanned Yi Qingtang closely, and however she looked at her did not seem to be enough. Your father will like you as well if he sees you. Father? Did he not return with you? Yi Qingtang was a little curious as the couple was rumored to always be by each other's side. Moe said with a smile, some tactless people annoyed your father, and he has to spend some time to massacre all of them. He told me to return first to look at you, and so I left first. Massacre all of them. Yi Qingtang was silent. All right. A caring mother she was, but this kindness was only shown to her daughter. This couple was still as heartless to others. Moe wanted to say something more, but she suddenly started coughing. The demon fox servant hurriedly retrieved a medicine gourd from her space ring and handed it to Moe. Moe received it and drank it. Yi Qingtang smelled a bitter medicinal scent that had a faint smell of blood. Mother, are you unwell? Yi Qingtang noticed that Moe's complexion was very pale and that her breathing was much weaker than others. Moe was unusually valiant when fighting Jiang Qin, and Yi Qingtang thought it was just a front, but now, it seemed that there really was a problem. Chapter 1457 Extermination 2. Moe passed the medicine gourd to her servant and smiled. It's a problem from the bloodline. It's nothing much. I was initially still worried that you followed my bloodline, but now, it seems that you followed your father. This is good as well. Although people with my bloodline are powerful, there are many drawbacks. It is great that you have the heavenly demon bloodline variant. Bloodline drawbacks? Yi Qingtang was slightly taken aback. Everyone knew about the power of the ancient dynasty, but their downfall was a mystery. Could it be related to this bloodline? Moe did not seem to intend to talk about her bloodline. Meeting her daughter after over 10 years, Moe did have many things to talk to Yi Qingtang about, and Yi Qingtang calmed down to feel the momentary familial comfort. Moe was overjoyed that her lost daughter returned to her, but there was one person in the Jiang family who was infuriated. Jiang Shun's firm features seemed to be ripping apart from hatred as he looked at Jiang Yiming, who was laying in bed breathlessly. Jiang Lu, Jiang Qin, and her husband and others were present in the room. "How's Yiming's injury?" Jiang Lu took a look at Jiang Shun's somber expression and then at the physician beside them. That physician's forehead had a layer of cold sweat as he replied anxiously. "Young Master Yiming's injuries are very severe. His arteries are damaged. Although his life is saved, I'm afraid, all his cultivation will." Jiang Lu was shocked by what the physician said. "Jiang Yiming is crippled." Yi Sun, who was standing aside, shivered as he looked at the lifeless Jiang Yiming. Jiang Yiming was a heavenly venerate, but Moe actually crippled him with one move. She was standing right behind Jiang Yiming then, and if Moe's attack landed on her, she would have died at the scene. "Sister Yu," Yi Sun tugged Yi Yu's sleeves. Yi Yu looked down with an ashamed expression. "It's all my fault. If Brother Yiming did not vent anger for me, he would not confront Yi Qingtang, and all the more not cause Yi Qingtang to be resentful and incite her mother to hurt Brother Yiming." Then, Yi Yu took a step forward and kneeled before Jiang Shun. "Uncle, it's all my fault. I did Brother Yiming wrong." Jiang Shun had a gloomy expression and did not speak. Jiang Qin was tearful at the sight and hurriedly helped Yi Yu up. "You, this has nothing to do with you. It's Moe and her daughter who are evil." Jiang Qin looked at Jiang Shun and said, "Eldest brother, Yiming is your only son. Now that he is harmed to this state because of Moe and her daughter, you must definitely avenge him. It's all my fault. I did not notice and protect Yiming." Jiang Lu was extremely vexed at this instant. Jiang Shun was the eldest son of the domain monarch. He had been the acting family master during the domain monarch's seclusion and had an extremely high status in the Jiang family. Jiang Yiming was his only son. Eldest brother, seeing that Jiang Shun did not reply, Jiang Qin wanted to say something more, but he suddenly raised his hand and smashed the wall with his palm. "Where is Moe at now?" Jiang Shun had a sinister and murderous gaze. Jiang Qin was delighted and replied immediately. "She is in the West Garden right now." Expressionless, Jiang Shun turned around and walked out of the door. Jiang Qin and the rest noticed and immediately followed. "Eldest brother, Moe is too arrogant. Her cultivation technique is unusual. I will come with you." Jiang Qin had her own plans. Moe's cultivation techniques were unusual, but no matter what, she was on her own. Now that Jiang Lang was not around and the domain monarch was in seclusion, it was the best time to get rid of Moe and Yi Qingtang. Chapter 1458 Extermination 3 Jiang Qin would not let Moe have any chance to harm Yi Yu. Jiang Shun did not say anything, which implied silent consent to Jiang Qin's suggestion. The domain monarch would come out of seclusion 3 days later, and even if Jiang Lang came back, the domain monarch would not allow him to mess around. "Eldest brother, you all," Jiang Lu wanted to say something when he saw that the situation was off. But Jiang Qin cut him and said, "Third brother, you watched Yiming grow up. Can you bear to see him in this state now?" This, Jiang Lu was in a daze. Moe already said that she will dig your spirit root 3 days later. In the past, she and Jiang Lang killed Elder Meng's son as well. Are you not clear about these, third brother? Moe ultimately does not share our family name, but she harmed our clan members repeatedly. Are you really going to stand up for someone with a different family name? Jiang Lang snickered. Jiang Lu was speechless. After discussions, they headed straight to the West Garden immediately. Yi Yu planned to follow them as well, but Yi Sun pulled Yi Yu fearfully. "Sister Yu, it's better for us to not go." That Moe, seeing that others had left, all the remorse and guilt left Yi Yu's face. "What are you afraid of? No matter how powerful that Moe is, how can she win against Aunt Qin and so many of them? Once Moe dies, Yi Qingtang will no longer have a backing. I must see how she dies tragically today." Yi Sun thought that it made sense as well and did not say anything much. Then, she followed Yi Yu and headed there as well in hopes of seeing Yi Qingtang die. In the West Garden, Moe asked Yi Qingtang about her childhood after consuming the medicine. The two of them laughed and sighed from time to time and seemed to have a close mother and daughter relationship. Even Beidou Demon Lord was envious of them. But at this time, Moe's gaze suddenly changed. The two demon fox servants at the door tightened their grip on their weapons vigilantly at this instant as well. "Mother?" Yi Qingtang vaguely sensed that there was something wrong when she saw that Moe's expression changed. Moe patted Yi Qingtang's hand. "I'm here." Afterward, Moe rose immediately, and the tightly shut door was unlocked instantly with the flick of her sleeves. Outside the door were Jiang Shun and the rest. The warmth in Yi Qingtang's eyes faded immediately when she saw the ill-intentioned people, and she stood beside Moe. "Fuck. They're here to stir up trouble." The little white tiger in Yi Qingtang's arm knew that the situation was bad when it saw these people appearing together. A smile flashed across Moe's pale face as she glanced at the speaking little white tiger. She then looked up at the people outside the door. "Why? Are you all unwilling to wait for 3 days? Are you all returning Yi Yu's spirit root to my daughter?" Jiang Shun squinted his eyes and glared at Moe with malice. Jiang Qin scoffed. "Moe, you're still so muddle-headed with death at hand. This is the Jiang residence. You behaved recklessly however you wanted, ruined the descendants of the Jiang family, and violated the family rules repeatedly. Today is the day where you will repay for all your sins." "Ha!" Moe chuckled as she looked at the gloomy Jiang Shun. "Is Jiang Yiming killed by a single move from me? Did you all hurry here for his funeral?" Jiang Shun's expression became increasingly contorted. "Moe, I always refuse to haggle with people like you on the account of my second younger brother. However, you injured my son severely today, and I must settle this score." "So he's not dead," Moe shook her head faintly and smiled. "Your son bullied my daughter. It's truly a pity that I could not kill him." Chapter 1459 Shameless One. Elder brother, Moe is unrepentant even now. Why bother to bandy words with her? Just cut off her head and avenge Yiming. Jiang Qin fanned the flames. Jiang Shun nodded slightly. The aura that surrounded him instantly grew. Jiang Qin and Tuoba Yao were also prepared to attack. Moe looked at them frostily, and a chilly smile appeared on her lips. She turned her head slightly to look at Yi Qingtang and then raised her hand to smooth Yi Qingtang's hair, which lay against her cheek. "Tang Tang, this place is too filthy. Wait for me in the room." But Yi Qingtang shook her head. She knew Moe was very powerful, but Jiang Qin and the others were no weaklings. She could not abandon Moe now that they were ganging up on her. "Mother, why don't I fight together with you?" Although they were not actually related by blood, Moe had been good to her. Moe was startled, but then she laughed softly. "Very well, we will kill our enemies together. I'll slaughter these people who bullied my Tang Tang." With that, Moe's gaze suddenly turned towards Jiang Qin and the others. "If I survive today, all of you will die in the future." Moe's words were filled with powerful murderous intent. The two demon fox servants were at attention. Even the Beidou demon lord was prepared to fight. Jiang Qin and the others were all heavenly venerates. Based on their current fighting abilities, it would be difficult for Yi Qingtang and the Beta Demon Lord to participate in today's battle. But at that moment, no one was prepared to retreat. The next instant, Jiang Qin and the others suddenly charged at Moe. Moe leaped into the air and met them in battle. Her two servants also entered the fight. Yi Qingtang was not far behind. She took a few bottles of elixirs from her space ring that could temporarily increase her abilities and drank them. Then, she drew her sword and charged with the little white tiger and the Baidu Demon Lord. Yi Yu and Yi Sun, who had followed Jiang Qin and the others, now stood at the entrance of the yard and watched the melee from a distance. Yi Yu's eyes passed over everyone and then settled on Yi Qingtang. Her eyes were filled with malice. Elder sister Yuer, Yi Qingtang is doomed. Moe is certainly no match for Aunt Qin and the others when they join forces against her, Yi Sun said with a smile. Yi Yu's lips curved in a faint smile. She had come here just to see Yi Qingtang lose her head. In a moment, a series of pitched battles were taking place throughout the yard. The two demon fox servants were fairly powerful, but they still paled in comparison to Jiang Qin and the others. Yi Qingtang and the Baidu Demon Lord joined forces with the two servants to hamper Jiang Qin and Tuobayao. But Jiang Shun directly attacked Moe. Jiang Shun was much more powerful than Jiang Qin. He managed to hold his own as he traded blows with Moe. For a while, things were at a stalemate, and it was difficult to determine who would win. Yi Qingtang and a demon fox servant fought Jiang Qin. Jiang Qin was no match for Moe but could manage the demon fox servant and Yi Qingtang. The demon fox servant and Yi Qingtang joined forces but were still no match for Jiang Qin. After a while, the demon fox servant was struck by Jiang Qin and spat out a large mouthful of blood. "Young mistress, you better go." Traces of blood stained the demon fox servant's robes red. Her voice did not waver, but she protected Yi Qingtang so that she could leave the battlefield. Jiang Qin was much more powerful than she imagined. The young mistress' powers just could not compare to Jiang Qin. It did not matter if she died. But nothing must happen to the young mistress. Trying to escape. It's not that easy. Jiang Qin would not allow Yi Qingtang to leave. She leaped up and brushed past the demon fox servant, her palm descending on Yi Qingtang. Chapter 1460 Shameless 2. A fierce burst of flames exploded around Yi Qingtang. The black flames roared as she forced herself to withstand Jiang Qin's blow. However, blood seeped from the corner of her mouth. Moe was fighting fiercely with Jiang Qin, but she kept an eye on Yi Qingtang. When she saw that Jiang Qin had injured Yi Qingtang, Moe's pale face instantly turned crimson. "Jiang Qin, how dare you injure my daughter?" The next instant, Moe soared upwards and struck. A huge white glow, like lightning, shot towards Jiang Qin. Jiang Qin was shocked and hurriedly withdrew. She raised her eyes to look at Moe with a cold smile on her lips. "Moe, I not only want to injure her, but I want to break your daughter's neck in front of you. I'll kill you." Moe's eyes were half-hooded. Her dark pupils seemed to slowly dilate until they covered the whites of her eyes. Before Moe could get away, Jiang Shun pressed towards her, not giving Moe an opportunity to rescue Yi Qingtang. "Moe, open your eyes and look at me carefully, so you can see how I twist off your daughter's head," Jiang Qin said with a cold smirk. Then, she attacked Yi Qingtang with a flying leap. Moe was frantic, but Jiang Shun hampered her and did not give her a chance to leave. Scram! Moe gave a low shout. Jiang Shun laughed coldly. "Moe, this is your retribution. You injured my son. Today, your daughter is going to be killed before your eyes. This is retribution." Ha ha ha. By then, Moe's eyes had turned completely black. A black vein stretched from her temple to her cheek. Her skin seemed to grow even paler. She looked like a demon who had crawled out of hell. Her powers suddenly grew exponentially. The smug expression was suddenly wiped off Jiang Shun's face. His eyes filled with shock when he saw that Moe's powers had suddenly surged. What is happening? All of you shall die. Moe suddenly spoke. Her voice was imbued with a faint, plaintive wail. Her speed instantly doubled. Shocked, Jiang Shun hurriedly moved to defend himself. Meanwhile, Yi Qingtang saw that Jiang Qin was moving step by step closer to her. But she remained completely calm. Yi Qingtang. Of all things, you should never have offended my Yuer. Who do you think you are to pit yourself against Yuer? Today, will be the day you die. Jiang Qin had no regard for Yi Qingtang, and she laughed coldly as she drew nearer. Yi Qingtang narrowed her eyes slightly and secretly stimulated the energy in her body. Jiang Qin suddenly struck. A red light shot out from behind her. Her movements transformed into a blur of light, as if she was a flame streaking across the area. The instant Jiang Qin attacked, the black flames around Yi Qingtang surged. The towering black flames instantly transformed into a black phoenix, which charged straight at Jiang Qin. Jiang Qin was slightly taken aback. She had not expected Yi Qingtang to have such a move. She had a bad feeling about these black flames. The demon fox servants had assumed that Yi Qingtang was no match for Jiang Qin and had not expected her to be able to withstand Jiang Qin's attack. Moe had also noticed this. Her lips curved slightly, and the black vein on her face gradually vanished. Just as Moe relaxed a little, a black figure suddenly charged out from behind her. Elder Meng suddenly appeared. The moment Moe relaxed, he aimed a blow at Moe's back. Chapter 1461 Shameless 3 Moe sensed something was amiss but did not have time to dodge. The blow hit her squarely in the back. Moe, you must pay for my son's life. Elder Meng roared. No one expected Elder Meng to suddenly appear. Jiang Shun and the others were delighted to see Elder Meng. Moe stumbled, and blood shot from her mouth. She narrowed her eyes as she looked at Elder Meng, who had attacked her from behind. Your son deserved to die, Moe said with a cold laugh as she wiped away the blood. Jiang Shun and the others had reached an impasse in their fight with Moe. In fact, after Moe's powers surged, they had slowly started to lose. No one expected Elder Meng to suddenly attack at this moment, breaking Moe's momentum. Elder Meng. Jiang Shun looked at Elder Meng and slowly raised his hand. Elder Meng had appeared at this moment because he also wanted to kill Moe. Moe would certainly die today. Moe, I would like to see what other tricks you can pull out of your bag today. You have nothing to blame but your many evil deeds, Jiang Shun said with a cold laugh. Moe's eyes narrowed. Her chest rose and fell as she breathed erratically. The demon fox servants, who were still embroiled in battle, were startled by Moe's appearance. Jiang Qin and Tuoba Yao immediately seized on their slight distraction and sent them flying with heavy injuries. Don't waste time. Kill Moe first, Elder Meng said cautiously. Tuoba Yao and Jiang Qin did not waver anymore. They leaped upwards into the void, and the four of them joined forces to surround Moe. When Yi Qingtang saw this, she also soared upwards and stood before Moe, brandishing her sword. Tang Tang, a faint smile grew on Moe's pale face when she saw that her daughter was protecting her. Mother, you leave first. Yi Qingtang fixed her eyes on Jiang Shun and the others. If not for Elder Meng's sneak attack, it would have been difficult to determine the outcome of today's fight. But now Moe seemed to be injured, perhaps. None of you will escape today. All of you will die here. Jiang Qin laughed coldly. With your abilities, Moe laughed softly. She was about to say something else when she was racked with a fit of violent coughing. Yi Qingtang was frightened to see her cough out a large amount of blood. Moe frowned slightly and looked at Yi Qingtang, who was standing in front of her. Something flashed across her eyes. Then, she suddenly reached out and pulled Yi Qingtang into her arms. She flicked her wide sleeves, and flames shot from them. The flames were interspersed with cold gleams of light, which shot towards Jiang Qin and the others. The gleams of light shot forth as flames filled the air. While Jiang Qin and the others dodged, Moe held on to Yi Qingtang and flew off, landing inside the room. Then, she curled her fingers and pulled the severely injured demon fox servants, Beidou demon lord, and the little white tiger into the room together. The door slammed shut. The flames in the courtyard immediately disappeared. Damn it, it was an illusion. Jiang Qin only realized the truth when she saw the flames disappear suddenly. She prepared to break down the door and charge in. But as Jiang Qin was about to break down the door, Jiang Shun pulled her back. Elder brother? Jiang Qin looked surprised. Jiang Shun kicked a stone towards the tightly locked door. The moment the stone collided with the room door, it exploded into bits. It's a barrier. Elder Meng narrowed his eyes as he looked at the door. He could faintly see that the doors and windows of the room were enmeshed in lines of light that were as fine as cobwebs. Chapter 1462 Death Wish 1. So what? We have so many people. Will we be unable to break through this barrier? Once the barrier is broken, we can kill Moe and Yi Qingtang, Jiang Qin said. Elder Meng shook his head. This is a barrier passed down by the ancient dynasty. The price is too high if we break it. However, this barrier consumes too much energy. That Moe was injured by me just now. Given her current condition, she will not be able to sustain this barrier for long. We just need to wait. Jiang Qin hesitated for a moment and finally stopped. After Moe brought the people into the room, she immediately spat out a mouthful of blood, and her fragile frame was unstable. Yi Qingtang hurriedly helped to steady Moe. Mother. Moe squinted her eyes and wiped the blood at the corner of her lips. I was careless for a moment. Subsequently, Moe looked at Yi Qingtang worryingly and brushed the sinister look in her eyes away. Tang Tang, I will send you all out from the back door later. You don't need to return. You just need to head to the mountain 30 miles away to look for your father. He should be there. Moe's voice was extremely gentle, but what she said stunned Yi Qingtang. I'm not leaving. Yi Qingtang faintly felt that Moe seemed to be addressing her post-death matters. Don't be foolish. Those people outside racked their brains to take my life. I don't mind playing with them, but I will be worried if you're beside me, Moe said with a smile. Yi Qingtang did not believe a single word she said. If Moe really could deal with Jiang Shun and the rest, she would not have retreated into the room. Mother, don't lie to me. I am already an adult, Yi Qingtang said. Moe was slightly surprised, but she sighed softly. It was then that Yi Qingtang noticed a streak of black blood on Moe's pale face. Her eyes became pitch black, and the white of the eye was completely absent. Madam, the heavily wounded demon fox servants saw Moe's behavior and took out that medicine gourd strenuously. Moe shook her head, however. That medicine could only be used for daily nourishment. She had already suffered a huge deficit and still needed to sustain the barrier. How could she consume it? The demon fox servants lowered their head and clenched their fists tightly as they hated themselves for being incapable. Mother, what exactly is wrong with your body? Yi Qingtang's eyes were filled with worry. Tang Tang, do you know why the grand ancient dynasty declined back then? Moe suddenly asked. Yi Qingtang shook her head. Including her, the entire central mainland had very little understanding of the ancient dynasty. The royals of the ancient dynasty were supreme powerful figures, and they are not in the least inferior even if they were in the current age. This is all reliant on the netherworld bloodline of my clan, Moe said. Netherworld bloodline? Yi Qingtang was surprised. The netherworld bloodline was an extremely rare and immensely powerful bloodline. It was rumored that the netherworld bloodline came from the god of the netherworld. He was a god that drifted between life and death and found joy in death. Anyone who possessed the netherworld bloodline could use the god of the netherworld's powers and become exceptionally powerful, but one would have to pay the price with their lives every time they used his powers. The more frequent the usage, the shorter one's lifespan. At this moment, Yi Qingtang finally realized the reason behind the ancient dynasty's fall. Perhaps they were powerful, but their power was at the cost of their lifespan. Moreover, it was rumored that it was extremely tough for those with the netherworld bloodline to reproduce, thus, this also resulted in the difficulty for the ancient dynasty to prolong. Chapter 1463 Death Wish 2 No wonder. No wonder Moe gave off such a frail feeling. Moe could only repress Jiang Shun and the rest because she used the powers of the netherworld bloodline. After the ancient dynasty fell back then, the remaining clan members hid themselves, and only a few people remained after thousands of years. Almost the entire clan was wiped out. However, that Holy Lord of Shadows suddenly appeared in the central mainland back then. An elder from my clan pleaded for a life-prolonging medicine from the Holy Lord of Shadows, which prevented the complete extermination of my clan. The medicine contained in the medicine gourd was left behind by the Holy Lord of Shadows back then. When I was pregnant with you, I was worried that you would inherit the netherworld bloodline as well. But I can rest assured now. Moe raised her hand and touched Yi Qingtang's head. The netherworld bloodline had both advantages and disadvantages. However, she did not hope for her own daughter to have this bloodline. Yi Qingtang was slightly taken aback. The Holy Lord of Shadows? That medicine was given by the Holy Lord of Shadows. The Holy Lord of Shadows came from the second domain and was an undead. Perhaps, she knew many things regarding the netherworld bloodline, and perhaps the Holy Lord of Shadows knew about more things that could restrain the netherworld bloodline apart from that medicine. If she returned to the Temple of Shadows, perhaps she could find other ways. However, thinking about this stuff now was too early. Tang, those people outside cannot do anything about me. If they really have the ability, I wouldn't be able to live until this day. You can leave first. Moe persuaded. She was already elated to see her long-lost daughter. Yi Qingtang shook her head. At such a time, she would not leave regardless of what Moe said. Moe's complexion became increasingly pale. She would not be able to sustain this barrier for long. Then, Moe coughed violently, and the defense barrier outside began to collapse. Jiang Qin and the rest outside the door noticed the weakening of that barrier, and their eyes glistened. The subtle sound made its way into everyone's ears. As they watched the barrier surrounding the house disappear slowly, the smiles in their eyes deepened gradually. The barrier is broken. Let's charge in. Jiang Qin exclaimed eagerly. Jiang Shun and the rest walked up immediately. With a loud bang, the door suddenly burst open with a huge force. Moe sat in the room and looked at these people coldly. As long as she was still alive, she would not allow them to touch Yi Qingtang. Moe, today is your death day. Jiang Qin snickered as she looked at the increasingly frail Moe. Yi Qingtang suddenly moved forward and stood in front of Moe. Although she was not her biological daughter, she was very clear that Moe wanted to protect her. Since she used this identity, Moe was her mother. Yi Qingtang analyzed the situation quickly. She was still unaware if her last card could protect Moe. Surprise flashed across Moe's eyes when she saw Yi Qingtang shielding her, and her eyes reddened slightly when the surprise faded. Moe had seen all the ugly sides of humans. In crises, even one's own flesh and blood could flee for their life alone, yet her daughter was this nice. Yi Qingtang lifted her chin slightly, and her gaze was as sharp as knives. Holding the sword across her body, she spoke coldly. Go over my dead body first if you want to hurt my mother. Since she enjoyed Moe's motherly love, she was Moe's daughter now, and she had to repay this kindness. Ha! Yi Qingtang, I think you have a death wish. Since you wish to die so eagerly, I will fulfill your wishes. Once I kill you, I will slay your mother. Jiang Qin snickered as wickedness pervaded her eyes. Chapter 1464 Death Wish 3. In the next second, Jiang Qin leaped up and bolted straight toward Yi Qingtang. Moe's expression changed, and she wanted to step up to take that blow. However, after being severely injured earlier on and forcefully implementing the barrier, which worsened her injuries further, blood seeped out of her mouth as she stood up in a flurry. Yi Qingtang took a deep breath, and all her strength reached the maximum at this point as she swore to fight Jiang Qin to the end. Yi Yu looked at this scene from afar, and her eyes were filled with smiles. It was as though she turned into Jiang Qin at this moment as she cast the shadow of death over Yi Qingtang. Kill her. But the moment when Jiang Qin rushed to Yi Qingtang, a bolt of lightning shot down from the sky abruptly. That deafening sound immediately lit up the dim courtyard. The strike of lightning directly blocked Jiang Qin's route. Seeing that familiar flash, Jiang Qin was alarmed and hurriedly retreated backward. However, the lightning strikes seemed to have a spiritual nature, and numerous bolts continuously chased after Jiang Qin and struck at her. Any part of the ground that the lightning struck became charred and stirred up a storm of dust. Several shadows suddenly appeared in the sky along with that lightning. Jiang Qin, you have a death wish. An emotionless yell suddenly sounded from the sky. Jiang Qin steadied herself and looked in the direction of the voice. Only to see a stunning-looking man in a bloody robe standing in midair. His striking appearance bore some resemblance with Jiang Shun and Jiang Lu but had additional hints of wildness. Jiang Lang, Jiang Qin trembled slightly when she saw that man. Even Jiang Shun and the others in the courtyard were shocked as well. Jiang Lang is back. Why is he so fast? Like a devil that crawled out from hell, Jiang Lang's body was coated with blood, and his clean face was stained with large traces of blood. Fresh blood dripped down from his dark hair, and the strong smell of blood rushed into everyone's nose. There were 4 men in ghost masks and black armor behind Jiang Lang. Yi Qingtang looked up in surprise at the handsome man in the sky. That man's gaze coincidentally landed on her as well, but shifting his gaze slightly, he saw Moe, who was standing behind Yi Qingtang. When he noticed Moe's frail appearance and the blood seeping out from the corner of her lips, Jiang Lang's eyes turned bloodshot immediately. Jiang Qin, he'll take your life. Jiang Lang flew down, and his body seemed to be surrounded by lightning as he charged towards the stunned Jiang Qin. Brother! What are you doing? Jiang Shun was alarmed to see the murderous Jiang Lang attacking Jiang Qin. Jiang Qin turned pale instantly as she saw a berserk Jiang Lang. Never had she thought that Jiang Lang would suddenly appear at such a timing. She is your younger sister. Jiang Lang, are you crazy? Jiang Shun shouted. Yet, nothing entered Jiang Lang's ears as he used lightning as a pike and struck at Jiang Qin successively. Seeing that Jiang Qin was being attacked, Tuoba Yao was alarmed and hurriedly went up but was blocked by the 4 demon-masked guards brought by Jiang Lang. Jiang Lang, stop. Do you want to kill your own family? Jiang Shun's expression changed drastically as he rushed to Jiang Qin's front and took a blow from the infuriated Jiang Lang with difficulty. Get lost. Jiang Lang's eyes were bloodshot like that of a wild beast as his emotionless eyes swept across Jiang Shun coldly. Chapter 1465 Wild One, Eldest Brother, Jiang Qin's face was extremely pale as she stood behind Jiang Shun nervously. All the prior arrogance and conceitedness was absent. Jiang Lang was a lunatic, and everyone in the Jiang family knew about it. In the entire Jiang family, Jiang Lang did not have any respect for anyone, and only the domain monarch could somewhat repress Jiang Lang. They wanted to join forces to attack Moe and Yi Qingtang earlier on because they relied on the fact that Jiang Lang was not present. Who would have thought? He was actually back. Jiang Lang, calm down. She is your younger sister. Jiang Shun reproached coldly. Younger sister? Jiang Lang's lips curled into a sarcastic smile. I dare to kill anyone who dares to harm Yi, even if that person is a god. Younger sister, so what? You're insane. Jiang Shun frowned and spoke. There is a reason for today's incident. Do you know what Moe did? She injured Yiming and even proclaimed that she wanted to dig Yu's spirit root. Injured Yiming? Jiang Lang's expression remained the same, but his gaze swept across Jiang Shun. That's right. So all of you are here to kill my wife. Jiang Lang's tone changed suddenly. Jiang Shun was taken aback. Before he could react in time, Jiang Lang stabbed straight toward Jiang Shun's heart directly. Jiang Shun retreated hurriedly as disbelief was written all over his face. You want to kill me? Jiang Shun glared at Jiang Lang. They were biological brothers. Moe was merely Jiang Lang's wife. No. Jiang Lang laughed when he saw that he failed to get Jiang Shun in a move, and his bloodshot eyes swept across everyone at the scene. I want to kill all of you. Then, Jiang Lang struck with his spike without any leniency. He had never borne to let his wife suffer any injustice. How dare they hurt her? Jiang Lang was extremely talented, and his martial comprehension skills were very high. In the past few years outside, he had been fighting with his life on the line, and all the techniques he trained out were killing moves. Jiang Shun broke out in a cold sweat as he was cornered by Jiang Lang, and he continuously cussed the lunatic Jiang Lang in his heart. Yi Qingtang's eyes were filled with astonishment when she saw the change of events. Don't be afraid. Moe's voice suddenly traveled from behind Yi Qingtang. Yi Qingtang turned around slightly, and Moe walked to her side strenuously. That is your father. Everyone in this world can be afraid of him, but we don't have to. Moe's eyes were permeated with warmth and gentleness as she looked at the man in the battle. Yi Qingtang could not help but lament in her heart when she saw Moe's expression. This infamous couple was not heartless, it was just that their emotions were solely devoted to one person for their entire lives. Jiang Qin and the rest fought Moe for a long time earlier on and had used up much energy. Currently, Jiang Lang was on a rampage and attacking everyone crazily. In addition, the 4 demon-masked guards that Jiang Lang brought back were highly skilled as well, so Jiang Qin and the rest felt the strain immediately. As Yi Yu watched the scene from afar, the smile on her face had gradually fallen apart. That is Jiang Lang. Yi Sun swallowed her saliva silently as she looked at the demonized Jiang Lang. Previously, she felt that Moe was already very frightening, but who would have thought that Jiang Lang was even more terrifying? He was actually merciless to his siblings and attacked them with lethal moves just for a woman. Yi Yu gritted her teeth in silence. First, Moe. And then Jiang Lang. Why does Yi Qingtang have such a good life? If Jiang Lang had come any later, Yi Qingtang would definitely have died. Chapter 1466. While the present situation was very disadvantageous for Jiang Lang and the rest, as Jiang Lang was like a crazed beast. Beidou Demon Lord silently swallowed her saliva when he saw the battlefield situation. Stop, all of you. A low shout traveled into everyone's ears suddenly, and a repressive force followed instantly. Both parties in the battle trembled when they heard that voice, and their actions halted for a moment. A shocked elder Su was standing at the entrance of the courtyard with a gray-haired elderly. That elderly's brows were tightly furrowed as his gaze swept across the chaotic scene. Uncle, Jiang Shun was delighted when he saw the elderly. That elderly was Jiang Kai, the elder brother of Domain Monarch and the uncle of Jiang Shun. Are you all done messing around? How unbecoming is it to cause such a huge ruckus in the Jiang family? Jiang Kai shouted coldly, and a look of displeasure could be seen on his face. The Domain Monarch siblings had high statuses in the Jiang family, and their skills were significantly higher than Jiang Shun's generation. The Jiang family had an extensive influence in this entire mainland while the Domain Monarch siblings were mostly guarded outside. Yet, unexpectedly, Jiang Kai was back today. Jiang Qin and the rest did not dare to revolt before Jiang Kai, and only Jiang Lang's bloodshot eyes were filled with a murderous look. Jiang Lang, look at you now. Jiang Kai frowned while looking at Jiang Lang. He was very dissatisfied with this undisciplined younger generation. Jiang Lang was not this deranged back then, but after he married Moe, the couple became increasingly unbridled. They even killed Elder Meng's son and left the Jiang family. Jiang Lang looked at Jiang Kai coldly. Why? Do you still want me to make a move? Jiang Kai snickered, and a repressive force disseminated from his body instantly. Under the repression, Jiang Lang turned pale slightly, but his eyes were like that of an unrestrained beast. What's going on with you all? Elder Su had a perplexed look. The ancient Yu clan had some activity as the Domain Monarch was about to come out from seclusion, thus, the Domain Monarch siblings began returning to the head family. Elder Su felt that he had only left for a mere day, but why did the Jiang family become like this? Uncle, Jiang Lang is crazy. He wants to kill me and eldest brother. Jiang Qin immediately lodged a complaint when she saw Jiang Kai. The Jiang family had its own rules. No matter how they acted to outsiders, internal killing was strictly forbidden. Jiang Kai's eyes dimmed. You all joined forces to harm my wife and daughter. So what if I kill you all? Jiang Lang snickered. Jiang Lang. Jiang Kai's expression darkened. He was still present, but Jiang Lang still dared to be so insolent. You have been away for many years, and you attacked your siblings the moment you returned. Have you forgotten the Jiang family's rules? Family rules? If they did abide by the family rules, why would they attack my wife and daughter so cruelly? Jiang Lang said coldly. Jiang Kai's gaze swept across Jiang Qin and the rest before looking at Moe and Yi Qintang. Uncle, we did not. Moe was the one who attacked first. She injured Yiming. Eldest brother and I were angry and came to reason with her, but she suddenly attacked us. Uncle, if you don't believe it, you can go and look at Yiming. Moe's attack was extremely fierce, and Yiming is completely crippled now, Jiang Qin said quickly. Jiang Yiming was indeed injured, and Moe could not push the blame. Since Moe was the one who attacked first and violated the rules, there was nothing wrong for them to approach her. Please go to https://www. Novel updates. cc/Rebirth of the Strongest Empress/ to read the latest chapters for free. Chapter 1467. Wild 3. Elder Meng stepped forward and said, "That's right. It's Moe who violated the rules first today, so we came to reason with her. Who knew that she did not repent and was even more insolent and started attacking us? We never thought of hurting the two of them and were only acting according to the family rules." The Jiang family's Hall of Discipline was initially managed by Jiang Kai, and the management rights were handed to Elder Meng only after Jiang Kai left the headquarters. Elder Meng understood Jiang Kai very well and knew that he hated people who violated the family rules the most, thus, he made use of that point. Furthermore, the departure of Jiang Lang and his wife from the house had already caused Jiang Kai's dissatisfaction. If not for the Domain Monarch choosing not to pursue this matter, Jiang Kai would already have caught the two of them back to the Jiang family to punish them according to the family rules. As expected, Jiang Kai's expression darkened increasingly. "People," Jiang Kai said suddenly. "Send the three of them to jail. Jiang Lang, it's time for someone to teach you about the rules. I will not probe about your actions outside, but in the Jiang family." Jiang Kai squinted. Then, the group of guards that came with Jiang Kai moved forward. Jiang Lang immediately led his men and stood in front of Yi Qingtang and Mo Yi. "Jiang Lang, what are you doing?" Jiang Kai had a displeased expression. "Don't think of touching my wife and daughter." Jiang Lang scoffed. "Bastard!" Jiang Kai was infuriated. "If you don't abide by the rules, do you believe that I will break your leg?" Jiang Lang chuckled but did not move an inch. Jiang Qin and the rest snickered secretly when they saw the situation before them. The only fault was that Jiang Lang and the rest acted too arrogantly, and they landed in Jiang Kai's hands now. Jiang Kai disliked this couple from the start and all the more would not let them off so easily today. "What's going on?" Such anger, a lazy voice was suddenly heard. A lady with grey hair and a youthful complexion walked into the courtyard slowly with a wine gourd hanging on her waist. Although her hair was white, she was dressed in an alluring manner, and her gorgeous features made her look at most around 30 years old. However, this lady was about the same age as Jiang Kai. She was the younger sister of the domain monarch and Jiang Kai, Jiang Sun. Jiang Sun frowned uncontrollably at the sight of Jiang Sun. Jiang Qin and the others initially had a pleased expression but were also in a daze when they saw Jiang Sun. Aunt, Jiang Lang, who was exuding a murderous air, called Jiang Sun at this instant, however. "Brat, you finally know to come back already? I doted on you for so many years for nothing. You really should be beaten for leaving just like that." Jiang Sun shot Jiang Lang a look. She seemed to be dissatisfied from her tone, but there was no reproach in her words. Jiang Lang opened his mouth but did not say anything. Jiang Sun scanned the surroundings and subsequently spoke to those guards. "You all are becoming bolder. How dare you touch your master? Are you all tired of living?" A cold glint flashed across Jiang Sun's eyes when she spoke. Those guards felt a cold shudder when contacted by Jiang Sun's cold gaze and retreated instinctively. Jiang Kai frowned slightly. "Why are you all retreating? Catch the three of them." The guards looked at Jiang Sun hesitantly. Yet, Jiang Sun chuckled. "Let me see who dares to move." The guards broke down internally. There were two senior members here, and one said to catch while the other said to not. What should they do? Third sister, enough. You spoiled Jiang Lang all these years, and look at what he has become. If he dares to attack his siblings now, won't he cause huge chaos in the future? Jiang Kai looked at Jiang Sun with a disgruntled expression. (1468) The familial tradition of protection won. The domain monarch was obsessed with martial arts and did not have much time to discipline his children. Jiang Sun looked after Jiang Lang when he was young, and given her perverse nature, she indulged his behavior greatly. Why? Can I not spoil my own nephew? Eldest brother, aren't you caring too much? Jiang Sun chuckled. Jiang Kai and Jiang Sun were two extremes. One stuck by convention strictly while the other was indulgent. Even when they were young, they had not seen eye to eye with each other. I can't be bothered to bullshit with you. The three of them must be punished today. Jiang Kai was unwilling to waste time talking to Jiang Sun. Jiang Sun snickered. I want to see who dares to touch Lang and his family in front of me. Are you protecting them? Jiang Kai's expression darkened. That's right. Jiang Sun raised a brow. Looking at the arrogant Jiang Sun, Yi Qingtang vaguely understood why the Jiang family would produce such a madman like Jiang Lang. Lang, come over you all. Jiang Sun completely ignored Jiang Kai's increasingly ugly expression and waved at Jiang Lang. Jiang Lang walked to Jiang Sun's back immediately with Moe and the rest. I heard that your child is found. Jiang Sun asked with a smile. Yes, Aunt. Jiang Lang nodded. Jiang Sun looked back and was slightly dazed as she stared at Beidou Demon Lord. She's so big already. Although she is much bulkier, she does have a very beautiful face. The tall and mighty Beidou Demon Lord was dumbfounded from the praise. Yi Qingtang, who was blocked by Beidou Demon Lord, stared blankly. Aunt, this is then our daughter. Moe seemed to be used to it and simply pulled Yi Qingtang to Jiang Sun's side. Jiang Sun was obsessed with cultivation when she was young and almost blinded her eyes. Although her eyes were safe now, her vision was extremely blurry, and she could only faintly see light. She relied on her perception to identify people most of the time. Haha. So this is her. What a beautiful little fellow. Jiang Sun laughed. Yi Qingtang was silent. In her grandaunt's eyes, her beauty was no different from Beidou Demon Lord's. As Jiang Kai looked at the harmonious and joyful scene with Jiang Sun and Yi Qingtang's family, his expression darkened to the extreme. Jiang Qin was, of course, unwilling to see Jiang Sun protecting Jiang Lang in the rest. Aunt, it's not that we wanted to do anything to second brother. It's just that second sister-in-law injured Yiming, so we, Jiang Sun tugged her lips impatiently. Injured means injured. Is there anything wrong with a senior teaching a junior? Jiang Qin opened her mouth but could not say anything. Moe is Lang's wife and is naturally Yiming's senior. If a junior is disobedient, it is a common thing to teach him. Yet, the few of you made such a ruckus over this. Aren't you all the ones who disobeyed the rules? Jiang Sun said coldly. Jiang Qin's expression froze. Jiang Kai said, it is a fact that Jiang Lang attempted to kill his siblings. Although I came late, I still heard some parts of the conversation. If the few of you did not cause trouble to Moe and her daughter, why would Lang be this furious? In my opinion, they were the ones who violated the family rules as they wanted to harm someone else's wife and daughter over a small matter. Which loving man in this world will not be angry? I think that Lang is not wrong at all. They are the ones who are wrong instead. Jiang Sun had an expression that implied that Jiang Lang was right, which made Jiang Kai's blood boil. Yi Qingtang finally saw a reasonable person in the Jiang family. Although Jiang Sun was brash, everything she said was reasonable. I'm not going to bullshit with you. You better move aside and not be nosy, Jiang Kai said in a low voice immediately after failing to outspeak Jiang Sun. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.